Welcome, folks, to Sportsaholics Unanimous for the weekend of February 16th, 2019. As always, I'm Alejandro.
I'm Dylan.
Nick.
On today's episode, we're talking MLB Prospects, AAF opening weekend, and of course, the currently ongoing NBA All-Star Weekend. That and much, much more. But first, as we always like to do here, we're going to hit the top headlines of the week. First one, Dolphins officially hire Chad O'Shea, Patrick Graham, and Jim Caldwell. Kind of talked about this last week, adding some veteran coaches and some old, quote-unquote, compatriots. What's your take on the matter?
Compatriots.
I like that.
All
I like that a lot.
I think with the inexperience of Flores as a head coach, bringing Caldwell as like an assistant head coach position, it's definitely a solid move there. A lot of experience, and as a head coach, he above average record.
Yeah.
What is it, 64 and 54 as a head coach.
That's pretty good.
I mean, I think something he doesn't get a lot of credit for is my man worked with Peyton Manning at the start of his career, and he worked with Matthew Stafford towards the start of his career. He was a quarterback coach to start, and Miami is definitely a team that's sort of in a quarterback limbo. One of the few teams. But
yeah, he's also going to be the quarterback coach along with the assistant.
Yeah, quarterback coach, head coach, assistant.
Seems like it's going to work out in their favor.
And then as far as Chad O'Shea, new offensive coordinator, was the wide receiver coach from New England. Is that a good thing?
I mean, literally that's all he's done. Like 9 years of wide receiver coach at New England. It's under Belichick. It's like to go from that to offensive coordinator. Of course, everyone has to start somewhere, but
a little bit of a stretch, I think.
I mean, but this the point I'm making is that like have New England wide receivers really been that so like fantastic? There's been one good guy on every squad.
Super Bowl MVP.
True. All right, that's not. Yeah, I mean,
don't. You want to get me started again?
I just want for the record, Dylan's the one who said that.
Yeah.
You want to name all his other achievements?
No, let's not do that.
And then Patrick Graham is brought in as defensive coordinator. Last year he was linebackers coach and run game coordinator. Interesting combo for the Packers. Year before that, D-line coach for the Giants. And the year before that, the linebackers coach for New England Patriots.
Yeah, good 6 years with the Patriots there as well.
Yeah, where he met Brian Flores.
Yeah. Another one, no to say coordinator experience, but also in that sense, Brian Flores has experience with calling plays and stuff. We'll see where they go with that.
Yeah.
Who's actually going to be the one calling plays, but he has good experience on defensive side of the ball. I think that was a good move.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll bring in more veteran assistants. I kind of wish the coordinators were more veteran, but Caldwell's a good move. Good older voice. All right, so the next one. This one we kind of talked about yesterday. It's sort of a direct response to something that I had said last week. Bryce Harper supposedly says not even considering a short-term contract.
I can see why, because he's one of the best players in the league. He deserves the money, blah, blah, blah. But a short-term deal with an opt-out could help his situation. And it would enable him to test the free agent market again sooner. But I don't know. I think the way the MLB is going with these contracts, they're too expensive, and then you got over 100 guys not getting paid. There's over 100 free agents right now, and it's not good for business, really.
No, I mean I have two takes for this. First of all, want to do something and what you're going to end up doing, two different things.
Yeah.
He could not want to sign a 1-year deal, but if, opening day is rolling around, I don't think he wants to be sitting on his couch.
Exactly.
And number two, the story is sort of more aimed towards the Giants, since they've recently had meetings with Harper, and supposedly they offered him a substantial short-term deal that he declined.
I think eventually you're right. Eventually, as opening day gets closer and closer, he's going to want to play baseball.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to that.
No, I agree.
If you think about it, it's not that far away. Opening
day's
a month away.
No, it's not. We're just starting spring training. So on that note, actually, I just wanted to bring this up just because I think it's a really cool thing and something we could look at, over the course of the season. This season, all 30 Major League teams will wear special MLB 150 patches on their uniforms to signify the 150th anniversary of the 1869 Cincinnati Red Stockings, which is the first openly all-salaried professional baseball team. Yep. And in addition to that, the Reds will also wear 15 throwback uniforms throughout the season and feature a special commemorative logo on their caps and jerseys.
That's awesome.
I'm really interested to see a throwback.
And the Reds actually, a team to watch this year, too.
Yeah.
And something dear to my heart. Opening day, all 30 teams will also have a commemorative patch on their hat,
Baseball
which
cap.
would be the first time that a league-wide thing like that is on the hat.
You gonna get one?
Of course I'm getting
I
one.
think I have to get one too. Yeah.
Just another note, MLB also announced that Manfred's going to be the Grand Marshal of the 100th Finlay Market Opening Day Parade in Cincinnati.
Yay.
Alrighty. Yep, that sounds about right. Alright, so now we're going to touch on some of the larger stories from this week. First one I want to mention, Cleveland Browns signed Kareem Hunt, a.k.a. I'm so sorry, Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
That might be the most questionable part of it.
You're right?
Like,
I think it is.
To me, look, the obvious thing is it's Dorsey, right? Dorsey drafted him in Kansas City.
Yes.
Probably very proud of him. The man became a top 5 running back. Mm-hmm. 5th round pick. He's proud of it. And that's fine. I get that. And so now you see an opportunity. And if you want, I can get into the details of the deal here. He signed for a base salary of $645,000. $25,000 per game roster bonus, and a $55,000 off-season workout bonus, a.k.a. $55,000.
Yeah.
Because we still don't know if he's going to end up on the roster. We still don't know if he's going to not be suspended, how long. It's a risky take, but you see the connections. Also,
in the
Kareem
end,
Hunt
literally,
is
he could just make that off-season.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Also, Kareem Hunt's actually from the Cleveland area, too.
Oh, that's interesting.
So,
I didn't
might
know
be
that.
playing for a discount for that.
Do you think he works out all the kinks in the offseason and gets on the roster?
Depends on what you mean by kinks.
Say he's suspended 6 games. He takes his 6. Doesn't appeal it.
Well, so this is the thing. I think from a playing perspective, unless he loses some steam, the guy was just as good the day he stopped playing. The game before they released him.
Well, yeah.
There was no decline.
I mean,
if he
it's not
comes
like
back,
it's been that
basically,
long.
if he comes back the same player, this is a steal.
Yeah,
It
it's not
is.
like it's been that long for it either.
Yeah.
No.
It's not to say it's been like a year or anything. He's going to be working out with them.
I'm sure.
It's not.
They're
like
paying him
there's-
$55,000 to work out.
Yeah.
I'd work out too.
Exactly, right?
I'll take 55.
Yeah.
To go to the gym? Yeah.
And even if to say he was like the 3rd string running back when he just came back.
Well,
But
actually, on
that's-
that note, I've been perusing the Browns subreddit to see what the fan reaction to this is. Generally positive, but the biggest thing I see, all the memes are coming out, are the wishbone formation with Hunt,
Oh, here we go.
Chubb, and Duke Johnson in the backfield. Excitement's brewing for that.
I think that's the order it'll be in.
Right?
Depth chart.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that's the depth chart, too. But that would be a deadly backfield. With Baker Mayfield, too?
Mhm.
That's a deadly backfield.
I mean, you don't really need a 3-headed monster.
No, you don't.
When you have Hunt and Chubb,
And maybe trade Duke?
they can get a pick or 2 for him. Maybe.
I think so. I think he's proved his worth.
He's good.
He's a solid receiving back. I'd take him.
Who needs him? The Jets do need him.
Yeah, we could use him. We definitely could use him.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of another guy the Jets could use, Antonio Brown has officially requested a trade from the Steelers. Everybody stop the presses. He's requested a trade and appeared to make not one, but 2 goodbye posts on each of his social medias.
Yeah. He's a little dramatic for that. He is one of my favorite players. I love to watch him play. But everyone saw this coming.
Yeah, oh,
Everyone
yeah,
saw
yeah.
it.
Yeah, this is.
I mean, gave up before the end of the season.
Yeah, and the controversy with him and Big Ben, it was just it was bound to happen. I I think he goes to San Fran. I want him to go to
He
San
seems
Fran.
to be leaning towards it.
I mean, let's look at this too. What's it called? Pierre Garçon's contract option just got declined by the 49ers. So that's another receiver slot right there.
I know.
Yeah.
That's a big move. I didn't think that they were going to do that.
No, that's that's a little interesting.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Dante Pettis, guy has some prowess, but for them to move that's a signifier.
Yeah.
That's a signifier.
And he's been in touch with Jerry Rice often.
Yes. I mean, well, that's like a guy he can model his game off after. It's a guy he seems to be modeling his game
Next
after.
question off of this, though. Do they get the first round pick they want?
No. No, I think they'd be lucky if they get a day 2 pick.
Agreed, but
I think they get a day 2 pick. Round 4, I think.
I thought
This is not a beneficial pick. You want to get rid of him. Let me ask you guys this.
Oh.
If he doesn't get his trade, what happens?
He sits out like Bell
He
did.
sits out like Bell?
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah?
I think he's just too much of a competitor to do it.
I agree. I don't think he likes it, but I don't think he has it in him
To sit out?
to sit out.
Yeah.
I think he's
That's
stubborn
a tough
enough.
thing to do.
It
I
is.
think he's could be stubborn enough to say, but I think he's too much of a competitor.
I agree. But he doesn't want to be there, clearly.
No, of course.
Big Ben doesn't want him there, clearly. Same thing with
Ben
Bell.
won't be there much longer anyway.
Big Ben
No.
won't be there.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph fan club. Finish straight.
Next, all right. So one last thing to throw off that then, because eventually he's gone. Eventually Brown's gone.
Yeah.
In one way or another.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
No,
Are the Steelers?
I personally, I don't think he's on the roster by next
Yeah.
year.
Brown's gone. Bell's gone.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
where do the Steelers fall on all this after all this?
Well, they have Connor, solid running back. I am a big James Washington fan. I think he can fill in. I think he can fill in the Juju role pretty well, and I think that Juju has the prowess to fill in that Brown role. I think he already has in some games.
Juju proved his first year that he was good enough.
Mhm.
Last year, he just exploded.
Exactly.
Okay.
My man was arguably the number 1 receiver on some games.
So with that, do they win the division?
No, I don't think so.
I'm going to be honest, it's tough to bet against those Ravens.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
Do they take a wild card at least?
I
It's
think
tough
they
to bet
could.
against those Browns.
Yeah,
It's
but
tough to bet against those Browns.
Personally, at this point, I don't think they come anywhere near the playoffs.
I
don't-
think they could.
I think they come near. I don't think they come
I don't
in.
think they come anywhere near it. I think
What do you think, a losing record? 8-8?
maybe, but either way, I think honestly, I think the Browns are going to take the division.
They
Yeah.
could. They could.
But the Ravens will fight for. We'll see how the whole Jackson thing goes with a full season.
The way I see it is that as good as the Browns were towards the end of their season, it's still a new head coach. It's
That's
still
true.
a new offensive coordinator. I think there's going to be some growing pains. I think there's going to be the sophomore slump, too. It's unfortunate, but I think that once you have some game film on Mayfield, you're going to be able to see his tendencies, see what he's good at, see what he panics under.
I just
things
think
like
I think at the end, it's the Steelers had to fight this year to be as close as they were. I don't think next year they're coming. I think honestly, between the Chiefs and Chargers in the West, it's going one's taking division, one's taking the wild card, leaving one wild
that's the
card
way it's
spot
looked,
left.
right? They look like the 2 best teams in the AFC.
Yeah,
Mhm.
meaning one wild card spot's left up for grabs, and that Colts Texans side over there isn't looking like it's going to be easy to get through either.
Yeah. No, I
But
mean,
I think-
AFC has gotten markedly better.
It has, but I think it's also contingent upon the Browns again. With Kareem Hunt, without Kareem Hunt, I don't think that matters too much.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I'm not even gonna.
No.
I know if adding him, that's a significant upside.
Yeah.
And it helps them greatly. But
I think if anything, it's just a steal because of how much they're getting him for. Like,
yeah, and the talent. He's
Yeah,
got so
it's-
much talent. But it's hard to bet against somebody like Big Ben.
Yeah.
He's done so well. He's produced so much for so long that, Al said Connor's a good running back, Juju's a good wide receiver. Yeah, but Big Ben makes Juju a little bit better.
Oh, yeah.
Connor's more of a system running back. You saw it with...
I don't know what your guys' take is, but I'm a Ben fan. I'm a big Ben fan. Yeah, I know he's had his past, but from a player perspective, I love his style of play, the way he throws the ball. Yes, sometimes he throws 60-yard passes from the opponent's 40-yard line, but, you can look past things like
and he
that.
can't tackle the fucking guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's up like a tree. That's why they call him Big Ben.
Yeah.
No, I think that the AFC wild cards are going to be a toss-up, but that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Speaking of AFC North, though,
Yeah.
Joe Flacco, Super Bowl winning quarterback for the Ravens, gets traded to Denver. Not officially, it's only in principle, but the fact that players from both sides are saying so long, or saying welcome.
Flacco's in Denver.
Yeah,
all right,
Flacco looks like he's in Denver.
It'll go
Flacco's
through
in
on my
Denver.
birthday. That's like the official day. It can go through. Happy birthday to me, I guess.
You get Joe Flacco in a Denver Broncos uniform.
Yeah, cool.
Woo!
I like the trade. I don't think Keenum's a good quarterback.
I had hope. I didn't think he was a great quarterback, but I had to take what he did in Minnesota.
All right, whether you think he's really that good or not, you put Keenum and Flacco's current stats next to each other, and they're the exact.
They are.
Flacco is just another Keenum, so I do not understand this from Denver's sense in any way.
I mean, I don't
the experience side.
It's experience. I think it's also Elway looking at prototype, tall.
I don't
Strong
trust
arm
Elway with the quarterback anymore.
No, neither do I.
That's the sad part. That's the sad part.
That should be the one thing
you have to
Elway
think
should be able
that
to
the
give
Broncos,
us.
Yes.
when they brought on John Elway as GM, were like, oh, well, a quarterback, that's going to be the position, right?
And this isn't to take away either just from Elway and like they won a Super Bowl, like whatever. But
No. I want to take away from Elway.
no.
My man drafted 2 first-round quarterbacks that both ended up busts. 2.
Yeah.
And I mean that
You're a Hall of Fame quarterback, man. If there's one thing you should know.
It's quarterbacks.
Exactly.
quarterback.
Like how are you that blind to
mean-
your position?
To your
You,
position.
you mean Brock Osweiler and Paxton Lynch aren't all-star
Now, the other
Pro
thing-
Bowl quarterbacks?
Well, this is the thing. The other thing maybe is coaching. The Broncos haven't had a steady coach. Because whatchamacallit's gone now, too, right? Is Vance Joseph still there?
No, I don't think so.
Honestly, I don't even
I
care
don't-
because
I
it's
don't
not the
think so.
coaching. It's
No, I
all
think
Elway.
he's gone.
I don't
It's
even
all
care.
our way, yeah.
Well, yeah. That's true. But yeah, I mean, from Flacco's perspective, I've heard that as long as he gets his salary and as long as nothing is, as long as everything's
it doesn't
guaranteed,
seem like they're not touching the salary.
it sounds like he's happy with it. But it's gotta suck to be traded for a 4th-round pick and nothing else.
Yeah.
It's a little demeaning.
Yeah, right.
But on the other
You
hand,
won a Super Bowl.
yeah, but he just
yanks his hat on
Ex-
that.
going off of that, he won a Super Bowl and got sat for a rookie.
Yep.
So, would you rather be sat for the rookie or traded for a 4th-round pick and
No,
start?
no. That's why I agree.
And
I
it's
agree with
also
that. I
Flacco. He had one great postseason run. He's an average quarterback.
He is.
I'm not
He
pushing
is.
that he's like. I understand won a Super Bowl and everything.
Yeah,
he's
but-
not.
No, he's
someone
He's not
amazing.
above average. He's
No.
not.
Well, you hope that with all the weapons, well, no, not all the weapons, but with some of the
They got rid
weapons
of a weapon.
that the Broncos have, and the defense that the Broncos have, that all you would need is an average
Well,
quarterback.
this is where I'm confused too with the whole Elway thing. Look at some of these young guys that he got.
Yep.
And was it Bradley Chubb,
Yeah.
Philip Lindsay,
Yep.
Sutton? Like these are good players.
Very
but
good.
then Brock Osweiler, Paxton Lynch. I mean, Trevor Simmons, a 7th-round pick. I'm not gonna say that was bad,
Okay.
Yeah.
but
But
still,
Osweiler and Lynch, those guys were supposed to come in and be starting out guys.
Yeah.
And they sucked.
Yep.
Peyton Manning was a shell of Peyton Manning at that point. But I mean,
he still rocked it.
name
I
alone.
mean, it had his record season with him.
Name alone, I'm not gonna say that was a bad move, but
Yeah.
No, I mean,
We've discussed this previously. Peyton won the Super Bowl with them, but he was terrible in that Super Bowl.
yes.
that was a defensive
Yeah.
won Super Bowl. Yes,
Yes.
but
defensive MVP.
from Peyton on,
Exactly.
there's
No,
nothing.
It's just been a nightmare.
It's been a nightmare. And
Honestly,
maybe
Case
this
Keenum
is
has
a-
probably been the best of the. And
yeah.
and that's not a
saying
good
much.
thing.
Yeah, that's not a
Not
yeah.
saying much.
No.
Flacco may be the answer for the current time, but a guy who could be the answer long term, who just committed to being an NFL quarterback 100% of the time, or something. He said something like that. Kyler Murray fully commits to his NFL career. What are your takes?
I'll let Nick go first.
Okay. Dylan's ramping up right now, just for those of you who can't see.
He's waiting. He's waiting
He's
for
biting
it to
his
get to the
nails.
top of the hill so he could just bring it down. All right. I think, you know what? After the season he had, it's almost like, how do you not?
It's hard. It's hard. I mean, you won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah,
Like,
because his mind before all of it was he was kind of leaning. If I remember correctly, he was kind of leaning baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
He was leaning
Yeah.
baseball.
Yep.
Not according to his statement. I mean,
Well,
the man was like, "I've grown up wanting to be a quarterback."
Well,
Yeah,
he had to say it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're gonna commit, you got to commit.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. I don't expect him
after
to be
the
like,
season-
the money is a lot better, so I decided to go to the NFL.
That's another thing, though. Like, honestly, the money is.
Yes,
So,
it is.
Like, you're gonna.
It is. You're going to get into
start,
the MLB.
Start out.
You're going to get right into major leagues.
Yeah, you're not starting out in Major League
No
Baseball.
minors. Yeah.
This,
I mean,
you
he
are
had
not
to
only start-
return quite a bit of money too
Yeah,
by
I think
making
it was
that
like
commitment.
$3.5 million he had to give back.
but
That's
the contract,
crazy
but
to
the
think about.
contract he'll get just from where he's going to drop.
Oh yeah, all he has to say is, "Yo, wait till April, and we're good."
Yeah, right. Like it's not like he's
I got
got to be
you.
getting more than that money back very soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do we think that he's a top 5?
No.
Top 10?
No.
All right, this is my thoughts on this.
Go ahead.
There is always, with all the speculation, there's always the can he go number 1 to the Cardinals?
I don't think so.
I don't think he will either. But
I don't think so. But I think Cliff is like biting his lips. Like,
yeah,
if I was here last year, we wouldn't have taken Josh Rosen.
I wouldn't have taken Josh Rosen either. But
I gotta get into that too.
Oh,
I think the way
Feel free to chime in.
I'm waiting.
I think the way it's starting to heat up in the sense that it's looking like there might be some people jumping up to take a quarterback.
I think so.
Even if he's not the first quarterback off the board, once someone jumps up, even if they take Haskins,
I was going to say, that's
Murray's
the only guy I
yeah.
can see
Well,
taking above.
That's no. Murray's almost 100% going number 2 quarterback. It's
At least.
yeah.
He could be number 1.
Oh, he could easily be
He
number
could
1.
be number
yeah.
1. My man could put on a show at the Combine, have a stellar pro day and rock it
But that's
himself
what
up.
it is.
I mean, that's what Mayfield did.
Yeah.
Mayfield wasn't number 1 for the longest time.
I mean, up until the day, many people really still didn't think he was
Exactly.
number 1.
I didn't think he was going 1.
Exactly.
We had that conversation draft night.
And I can see similar situation with Murray. But
Yeah.
you were saying, so Haskins gets taken.
Oh yeah, since it seems very likely a team's going to jump up, whether they take Murray or Haskins, either way, both those quarterbacks are going very early in this draft.
Yeah, yeah.
There are too many teams that want a quarterback, and those are the only 2, at least, very early on in the draft.
Well, okay, all right.
Very
Well, no, but
early.
I want to go on that point though. Who do you see? Because I think this is a rare year where there aren't a lot of teams who can afford to go for a quarterback. Either A, they have a veteran, or B, they've drafted somebody within the last 2 years that they're not going to jump ship already on.
Okay, so this is the one thing that's going to kind of decide it too. Where does Nick Foles go? Because at this point, Nick Foles is not he's not staying with the
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a bad market for quarterbacks.
I think he's going to Jacksonville. I saw something earlier today that said him and Jacksonville have mutual interest.
Yeah,
there's also some things saying he could be going to the Giants. I think
I would love
it. In the end, one of those teams is.
I wouldn't.
One of those teams is likely to get Foles. The other one's taking a quarterback in the draft.
But that's the point I'm making.
What's the?
There's Jacksonville, right? We all agree Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Maybe Miami, right?
Definitely Miami.
Maybe the Giants.
For who? Foles or Murray?
No, for a quarterback. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
market
We're
for
just
a
saying
quarterback.
Definitely the
quarterback.
Giants.
Like
Definitely the
Giants.
Okay, the Giants. Who else?
I'd honestly say
Raiders.
Tampa Bay should start.
Maybe the Raiders.
I don't think he's good.
I don't think Tampa Bay is going to jump ship on Jameis yet.
No, they're not.
I don't think so.
They're not.
Especially
It's
turning over the coaching staff.
Arians said
upsetting.
that he likes Jameis and that they're sticking with Jameis.
It's upsetting.
Yeah, I mean, you've got
How
a
many
veteran
times
coach
they've gone
there.
back
A
and forth.
veteran coach who says he likes you as quarterback. He's not going to get rid of him. He's not going to draft
He
him.
literally came out of retirement to coach that team.
Exactly.
So
that's 3 teams. And I think there are about 3 quality quarterbacks in the draft and Nick Foles. That's why I think it's a bad market for Nick Foles.
it's a wild card. Nick Foles makes that so much more interesting.
He does, but I don't think in a good way for him.
Yes or no?
I think the only thing is a little more what you could get from Nick Foles, obviously, than what you could get from, to say, someone you're drafting.
but this is my thing. Is that
a good thing?
Is that good?
It also depends on...
Are we having another Kirk Cousins situation?
I mean, I don't. I'm not going to push it to that. Like,
No.
we're giving Nick Foles record money.
No,
or
I'm not
whatever.
saying about as far as record money. I'm saying as far as just because he's the best available, he's worth it.
Yeah, but it also it depends on the return you're going to get.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think so.
Do you think
I would
someone's
much
going to shell
rather
out a
trade
lot?
draft picks to get a Haskins or a Murray or a Locke?
How old is Foles?
Somebody, we can look this up.
I mean, either way, he's low to mid 30s. He's got life left in him. He's not going to be a team's quarterback for the next 15 years. So, as a Giants fan, yeah,
30 years old.
He's
Just
30.
for the record, he's 30 years old.
Okay, so he could give somebody 10 years. He's not going to give them
Maybe.
15 years, 8 to 10, more or less. As a Giants fan, getting Nick Foles makes the most sense aside from drafting Haskins.
This is my question: is he a guy you want 8 to 10 years out of?
I would, if he performs like he has. Yeah, fuck yeah.
If he performs like he has, he was okay when he started for the Eagles.
He won them a Super Bowl.
No. I'm not talking about playoff Nick Foles. I'm talking about this guy was regular. He was a regular season starter for the beginning of the 2018 season for the Eagles, and they were okay.
I thought you were talking about even Nick Foles before.
Oh yeah,
we're going even farther back before
the Eagles,
before the
Eagles,
the Rams,
he was about to retire. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like if I got playoff Nick Foles all the time, that's the guy I want on my team.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not playoff Nick Foles all the time. I don't know what it is about the playoffs. I don't know if he, signed a deal with a witch doctor or something. But he's a different guy when the playoffs start.
But do you think the fact that no one knew, quote unquote, when Wentz was coming back, and that being held over his head, hey, you're going to lose your job anyway? Do you think that negatively affected his performance?
He could have. Like, am I willing to bet money on it though?
Probably not.
That's the point.
But it plays a contributing role.
I think
That's
so.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anything mental like that for an athlete.
So what are the teams we said? We said the Giants, right?
Giants, Jags, Dolphins.
Giants,
and
Jags,
Raiders.
Dolphins.
I think Raiders are in the mix for a quarterback too.
They
I don't
could
think
be.
they're
They
too
could
sold
be.
on
I don't
Carr
think they're-
anymore. I was thinking Broncos until they got Flacco.
Okay, so we said Jacksonville, right?
Mhm.
Jacksonville's picking number 7
After the Giants.
after the Giants.
All the mock drafts
That
I've
was
seen
the whole
has,
thought of they might jump up.
Yeah, but I've seen the some mock drafts. All of them I've seen have Haskins at 6, Locke at 7, and Murray goes 13th to the Dolphins.
But I think Murray's going to jump. I think Murray's going to be another Oklahoma quarterback story where he's going to jump up the board and could end up top 5.
I mean, then we could always see a team just.
And then the Broncos.
early
I don't think the
quarterback.
Broncos are out of the mix yet.
That's honestly, it's very likely they're not.
I don't think so.
Because they
I
are
don't think-
shopping Keenan.
I don't
Just
think.
let's fuck with Flacco more. Like, I was going to actually just say, we could just have a team throw themselves in that we weren't really thinking that would go for a quarterback. Like, honestly, I didn't really think the Ravens were going quarterback first round last year.
Neither did I.
Well, I don't think they did either.
I
they
don't
traded
think
up at the 32nd pick, right?
Yeah.
It was like something.
Something crazy.
But I mean, Flacco's 34 years old.
So we're gonna have
at
this happen
best,
to
you get
Flacco.
6 years out
We're
of
gonna
that?
have this happen to Flacco 2 years in a row. Is that what we're thinking?
No, I think. I think.
That would
Well,
be
no,
so
it
shitty.
could. It could.
It definitely could.
It very well could. You take a guy like Murray, I think it could. You take a guy like Haskins, I think it could.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You
though.
take
I
a
don't
guy
think
like Locke, which they've been connected to several times now.
the Broncos.
over
If
the
the
process-
Broncos get one, it's not going Murray or Haskins.
Oh, that's the thing. I think if they take Locke,
It's
who
gonna
they
go
seem
more
to
like
like,
Locke. Yeah.
it's Flacco for a year. Locke. I think it's
Yes.
another Patrick Mahomes situation.
Yes.
Lame duck quarterback has a good year. Try to make it. Try to make
Speaking
moves.
of the Mahomes situation, Alex Smith being out,
Washington
Washington's
definitely
in
in
the
the mix.
Oh, there we go.
That was the other
that's
team.
The other one.
mix. That was the other team.
Washington is picking 15th, so they're going to have to make moves. But they, I think, have some picks to make moves with.
Yes.
But like I said before, well, now that I know that they're 15, Dolphins are 13, Giants and Jags 6 and 7. I could see Washington trading up, but not higher than the Giants pick. I think they would go, depending on who gets picked, the first couple of picks.
If anything, they're just going to try to jump the Dolphins pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be, I think the Washingtons are going to play it by ear. I think they're going to look at where guys are going. If it looks like there's a quarterback around 7, 8, maybe they'll jump.
I saw something that said the Cardinals are going to get Murray, or could get Murray. And then the Giants should try and trade for Rosen.
I could see
and
that.
I would love it.
That would be a Madden level trade, but I could see it happening.
If the
I think
Cardinals,
Rosen fits very well in that Giants offense.
That's what the thing with the whole. That's the one reason why, as much as it almost sounds crazy,
air raid offense at all.
That's the one thing where it, as much as it sounds crazy, it does make sense. Rosen isn't gonna fit the offense.
King scheme.
Yeah,
no, he's not gonna fit Cliff's scheme. He doesn't.
He won't. No,
he doesn't. You look at Cliff's quarterbacks: Pat Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, even freaking Case Keenum.
I was about to say
he does not fit.
I was about to
mold.
say
No.
you know who's probably going to end up going to Cardinals if obviously Murray to Case Keenum is going to the Cardinals.
Could be Case Keenum.
This is really interesting. I
didn't know that. Did you know that Cliff coached Case Keenum?
I forgot about Keenum. I knew the other two.
That might be his biggest that he really developed to say that.
He did
that was Keenum was to say all him.
Yep. Well, I mean, we see where that went.
Well, I mean,
well, he was like you said, he was good in Minnesota. Pat Shurmur did that.
Then what happened?
Then he went to Denver and sucked.
And then he had the L.
No. But then what happened to Pat Shurmur?
Head coach of the Giants.
Then you got a decent quarterback, and it's like,
Come to the Broncos. You have the Elway effect.
I like that. Hashtag EE.
All right. And on that note, I think it's time to get into some debate discussion. Let's split the room. So for the first thing, we talked about it after the first podcast, and we want to be your source for AAF news. So for those of you who don't know, if you've been living under a rock, the AAF premiered this last weekend to some pretty good ratings. Yeah. So good, in fact, that the commissioner of the AAF said, well, hold on. They're not that good. We'll see what happens. We're going to be going up against March Madness in a week. When your own commissioner says, pump the brakes on the hype train, I don't know what kind of league we're dealing with here. So
I think he's just trying to be a little realistic with
exactly. I don't think he wants to blow things up.
No, he's gotten a lot of good publicity, even from a lot of NFL people.
Exactly.
And yeah.
So, just to get into takes here, I think it's very clearly not the NFL, but it's very entertaining. No. I think it's a very good, entertaining league. What do you think, based on what you've seen?
I agree. But, like you said last week after the pod, this could end up becoming the minor league of football.
Yeah.
And if the NFL wants to, they could potentially partner with the AAF and make it like that. Give each NFL team one of these teams and have them develop through there. Mm-hmm. So, guys like Murray could jump to AAF when they get drafted, go straight to the NFL. Guys like Brock Osweiler, on the other hand, should go to the AAF, develop a little bit, and then get into the NFL if, a team needs a quarterback or whatever. Oh, yeah. I think it could be monumental in football in the next 5 years.
I mean, you saw what your dude said, right? The Chargers GM?
He was very pleased
very
with the whole
supportive.
Thing. Yeah.
Very supportive.
Definitely.
Says it could become a feeder league if it plays its cards right.
I like the way it's going, and I really, really think it'll be successful.
Yeah. I think one of the things, just from the pieces I saw, I didn't get to watch all of the games. I saw some of them, and I saw highlights of the others. I think the coaches need to step up their game. The play calling was very vanilla.
Well, unless, the man, Steve
Spurrier. Yeah.
Bringing out the Philly special.
Philly special in Orlando.
In his 40-6 victory.
Yeah, Orlando special.
Love it.
Yeah. About that Orlando game, though, I want to say another thing. It took place in Spectrum Stadium, or UCF. Go Knights.
Shout out.
Very interesting camera angles. That's some very interesting camera angles. Very low sky cam. When they got to the red zone, they cut to a camera over the goal line for the play while it was happening.
Really?
Yeah. It was interesting.
I mean,
cool.
I think this is just also another way for them to test out
exactly.
things, too.
And you know what? Get
let's
experimental.
Yeah.
That's fine with me. Go for it. I was looking at it, I'm just like, It's weird. It's weird at first because you're used to either the up and away or even Skycam over the quarterback. So having this goal line view is very interesting, especially for tight end plays or fade routes. You had a really close angle of it happening when it happens.
It's pretty cool.
Speaking of, we got to see the Sky Judge in action.
Oh my God, the Sky Judge.
The Sky Judge.
Yeah, there was a very...
Everyone needs a Sky Judge.
Did you see the controversial call? Well, not controversial. So there was a play that was reviewed, a catch in the end zone. And I love the transparency. They showed the judge looking at the play, because it was reviewed. And the whole way, she's like, oh, it's not a catch. It's not a catch. And she's looking at the angles, and you're watching her look at the angles. She's like, no, it's not a catch. She bobbled it. It hit the ground. And then she sees one angle where she's like, oh, no, he's got it in his arms. 2 points of contact. It's down. It's a catch. Call it a catch.
I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went viral because you never see that in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, all you see is a ref staring at a box on the field. Exactly. Yeah.
And then the announcers...
Like for those of you who can't see, Dylan is miming a ref staring at a box. But I think it was a great moment of transparency and
honestly, they got great viewership with very little to say known talent.
Oh yeah,
like you have Trent Richardson, who
so that's the other thing. The most recognizable names were the kickers.
One.
Nick Folk, Nick Novak.
Young Hui Koo.
Young Wei.
Yeah.
I love my man Young Wei. That was the thing I noticed. I was like, I know these kickers. I know all these kickers.
The most recognizable quarterback is like Hackenberg.
And my boy Walford, but he's not really a recognizable
The most
name.
recognizable quarterback is Hackenberg, who is the only one to get
because
shut
he was a
out.
Bust.
Who is the only one that got shut
He was
out.
absolutely horrendous.
Awful.
At a certain point, I think my man has to be like, football's just not the career for me.
Honestly, Richardson didn't play that great either.
He didn't.
He put up
He was the least impressive player on that team.
He put up 2 touchdowns, but he had 23 carries for 58
my man,
yards.
Luis Perez. Remember the name. He was a small stew quarterback. He was on people's draft sports last year. Unfortunately, small stool quarterback, not a lot of tape, not against heavy competition, didn't get drafted. I think he was signed to a couple practice squads, didn't stay long. My man looked excellent in that game. I don't know if you've seen it, but he looked on his
What
game.
team is he on?
I think it's the Birmingham Iron. That's a great team, by the way.
Gonna have to get used to these
That's
new
the team
names.
I'm going to be supporting.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get used to these new names.
I can't remember who the hell
I
the
think I
coach
gotta
is.
go with the Orlando team.
I want to support an Atlanta team. They're affiliated with the Jets, and they're in Orlando.
I just like Spurrier, so I'm probably...
But that Iron team, man, and they're black and I think they're black and white uniforms.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Back to the big name people quickly.
Yeah.
Did you see 2 quarterbacks that they did try to get in contact with to play in the league?
Yes, I saw one of them.
I did see this, but I don't remember.
So
Tim Tebow
that one's the one I didn't hear about.
and Colin Kaepernick.
I didn't know. I heard Kaepernick.
Tim Tebow said no. He's baseball.
My man is a baseball player. All right, how dare you?
Colin Kaepernick wanted
$20
million.
$20 million.
Where
million
these guys
dollars.
are making like $250,000.
I was gonna say, my man, what do you want?
These guys are literally making like $250,000.
They don't have $20 million of revenue
They
yet.
don't.
You're going to be making more than the rest of your team
They have to
and
pull
the team
from
you're
the
playing.
concession stands.
You're literally
And your owner.
these guys aren't making any money. I understand maybe you think name alone, but
But come on.
No, it'd be a hell of a name. Are you kidding
yeah.
me? If Colin Kaepernick was in the AAF,
Yeah.
everybody would be watching the AAF.
definitely. I
not worth
understand it,
that.
but how far are we going to go to say, not say unfairness, but
I mean, look, if
Equality
they were to get a
in
big
that
name,
sense.
then I'm sure they'd be willing to pay a little more to get that bigger name.
Definitely.
But not like that. Not like that.
$20 million. They don't have any.
You wouldn't get that
revenue
in the NFL. So
Yeah.
that's literally a 4,000% increase.
yeah, no, that's
Compared to what
that
all
was
the other
just
players
dumb.
are making.
I heard about that recently, and that was just.
I saw it today, actually, on the way here.
Yeah.
Do you want to be the only one making even over $1 million? You know what?
Yeah,
I'll even take that
exactly.
because you definitely he gets. I will give him that. If he plays,
brings in viewers.
yes.
Yeah,
With how much he'll bring in viewers, but $20 million compared to the 250,000
Just
everyone else
think.
is making.
If, say he got signed, viewers alone would skyrocket, merch sales would skyrocket, and ticket sales would skyrocket. Viewers from home, obviously, that brings in revenue too.
Yeah, people would definitely go to see the games.
And people would go more. You had one weekend. That's it. It was just the first week, and you won $20 million.
That was actually very interesting, too. Stadiums were pretty packed.
Yes.
The only one
Yes,
that
they
really
were.
wasn't packed was, I believe, Arizona? And it's
Could've
the
been.
one that's, like, closest to, like, an actual
Yeah,
NFL
could be.
team,
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
for most likely, is the reason why.
I'm happy to see that. And you know what? I would have, if they had a team in the area,
Oh, yeah, check it
I
out.
might even go if they're in an area where I'm at.
Yeah.
It seems exciting. Seems exciting enough. Another thing I want to, just a couple things I want to mention about the games. It feels a little more improvisational, and I think this sort of lends itself to where the coaches are calling plays. I think it feels a little more backyardy.
Yeah.
I wrote in my notes here, #tip drill, because I have never seen this many tips in an entire NFL season. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I felt like there were at least 2 tips every game. 2 tipped interceptions every game. Like Madden style, hand up, ball goes in the air, other defensive player catches it.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry, I'm giving Dill flashbacks.
Yeah. Madden's not very kind to me.
But yeah, no, I thought that was very interesting. So it also shows how skilled punt returners in the NFL are, because there were like so many muffed punts. So many muffed punts. People think that's an easy job. You're just catching a ball. It's coming down fast.
And you also have 250-pound
Exactly.
men traveling at full speed.
I don't know how
Wanting
they do
to take
it.
your head off.
Exactly. I don't know how they do it.
I would fair catch every time.
Exactly.
Every single time. I mean,
Exactly.
nope.
And even then,
And still be a
even
chance
then,
to muff the
trying to
ball.
catch
Yeah.
that ball. Speaking of heads coming off, though, there was a hit that went viral this
Oh,
weekend.
my God.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, Mike Bercovici got taken out hard. So hard his helmet came off.
Awesome hit. I love it.
And there
I
were
love
no flags. It was a clean hit. So clean, in fact, that the AAF, after the game, released a statement saying that it was a legal hit. Head coach of the team complained about it. And get this, everybody's going to love this part. Mike Bercovici himself says, it was clean. It was just football.
I love it. I love it so much.
If only.
You know damn well in the NFL if that
Oh,
happens,
yeah.
it's
There'd be
a
a
fine.
fine. Someone's getting
suspended.
Oh, that man's
Kicked out of the
suspended.
game. Oh, my God.
But,
That
yeah.
happens
AAF.
to Tom Brady. Oh, that's it.
Oh, that's it.
If that happens to Tom Brady, there's going to be a hit
The man
out
is
on the guy that
ejected.
hit
Oh
him.
yeah, oh yeah. Another thing, I want to give props to, I guess, the league for giving the refs a makeover. They're not wearing their just classic black and white stripes. They've got a black pattern, white stars. You still got the black and white stripes, but it's styled up. And I think it's like one of the first sports I've seen to really change the mechanics on
Just
that.
it's
pretty
a
cool.
nice, just a little switch. Nothing
Exactly.
like insane.
It's subtle. It's
Yeah.
subtle, and it's enough for it's like, yeah, that's cool.
You know
That's
what?
different.
You
They're
keep the
new.
traditional look.
This whole week in general, it's let's try to do things differently.
Exactly. And I'm really pleasantly surprised at how many things they did differently. And in the end, the games, they were big plays, but there were also defensive stops, interceptions, sacks. You know, I felt like we had talked about the rule changes last week, and I was afraid that the games might be a little too defensively balanced, but there were several good plays, and
I mean, if you look at the scores, there were
exactly.
there were some close, low-scoring games. A team put up 40, a team put up 6,
Yeah.
like 12. It's
There's some shutouts.
yeah.
Yeah, no, well, I think that the way it offsets is because you're not dealing with NFL quality players. So,
Sure.
you kind of got to balance the rules where you're dealing with guys who make mistakes.
The minor leaguers.
Exactly.
Whoa! Hackenberg. Is that-
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What
I
was
think
he, like
that-
2 interceptions, 2 for 10 with 15 yards?
Did he even finish the game?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. They took him out in the fourth quarter.
Jesus Christ, that guy's a mess.
But to that point, just want to give a shout out. If anybody who's listening to this did watch the AAF, I just want to mention some of the stars I saw. Shout out to Nick Folk. I think he kicked like 4 field goals.
Attaboy.
Carried that team. John Walford was on the Jets for a short period last year. Unfortunately, we already had our boy Sam, but John looked absolutely
I
awesome.
see a pattern coming here.
I would love for him to make his way to the NFL. Another great, small school quarterback. I think played for Wake Forest.
Not a bad
He's got
school.
good prowess, good arm strength. He can get accurate throws. Rashad Ross, wide receiver, made some great plays, one-handed catches. I think he had 2 touchdowns. Nick Novak,
Yeah.
It's our former Chargers kicker. I think he made 3 field goals. I might be off on the numbers here, but I know he made a lot of field goals, carried his team. Casey Sales, defensive end, got some good sacks, made some good pressure. Another unknown guy. I didn't know anything about him before the draft. Quentin Patton, tight end.
That sounds familiar.
Made some good plays. Looked a little Jimmy Grahamish out there. Again, 1 week. Not a lot of film, but definitely a guy I'd definitely watch. Luis Perez, like I said, small school quarterback. He has a lot of tools. He's He's got buck teeth, but he's got a lot of tools. I took off his helmet at the end of the game. It was like, I was like, oh God, put it back on. And Jaquan Gardner, running back, made some moves. He made Trent Richardson look like the tryout boy. Like he made some moves. Trent Richardson might have gotten the only touchdown for his team, or I believe the first touchdown for his team that week. Mm-hmm. But he certainly was not. He was far from the best player on that team. And then the Orlando defense just shut down the opponent. It was just embarrassment. Yeah, great team. So yeah, I'm definitely going to keep tabs on the AAF.
I think I am too.
Definitely.
I miss football, so
exactly. I do too. And at least until baseball. Then it's going to be tougher. I don't know how long the season is, to be honest.
Me either. We'll have to research it.
We'll research it. Don't worry. We will get you all the AAF news you can handle.
And more.
And more.
More than you'll ever want.
If anybody from the AAF is listening to this, reach out. We'll make something happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. All right.
We'll come to you.
So we go from a topic I think we're all pretty positive about to a topic that we might not all be pretty positive about. We're going to be talking MLB Hall of Fame class.
Oh, yeah.
Who deserved and who got snubbed. So first we're going to talk about who made the class and whether they deserved it, whether it was good, bad. And then we're going to go into a few snubs. People who were on the ballot who we thought didn't get their due, should be in, things like that. So we'll start with the only unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer, Mark. Go ahead, I'll let you say it.
Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, the Yankee fan. Go ahead.
Yes, I love this so much. I think everybody knew he was going to be unanimous.
Yeah,
it was pretty much a given. He was unanimous before he even retired. Everyone said it. Best closer of all time.
Yep.
Over 600 saves.
All-time saves leader.
Just the epitome of a professional.
Yeah.
When you're looking at it. Unbiased standpoint, he's one of the guys you'd want on your team to lead your team to multiple championships like he did for the Yankees.
Not only is the all-time saves leader, but little lesser-known stat, he's the all-time games finished leader. So not even just saves, he finished the most games.
Just a testament to his work ethic, his everything. I'm so happy for him. He's one of the guys that when I saw his name on the ballot, I was like, he deserves it over everyone else on that ballot.
Ooh,
personally.
It's a bold statement.
Personally, I think he deserved it more than everybody else. I think other people can agree with me.
I mean, if we're going to go with that he should have been unanimous and no one else on the ballot should have been unanimous, I'll say yes.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, if we think of it in that sense, I'll say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just in the sense that
cool.
I will accept his unanimous selection, but
I agree with you.
I still don't think he should have been the first. But
first unanimous?
You don't think he should have been first ballot?
No.
He doesn't think he should have been first. First player to be unanimous.
First unanimous.
No. Who'd you think, Griffey?
Griffey.
It's a little shaky there.
It's Griffey.
I could go either way for that one.
Hey man, the kid's a tough act.
Because it doesn't change that Mariano Rivera should have been unanimous. Yeah. I just think it
should
have happened already.
A lot of people were pissed off that Griffey didn't get unanimous and Mo did.
I have definitely no issue with Mo being unanimous.
Yeah. No,
nothing against him and amazing.
I miss watching him pitch so much.
Now, this next one, I'm a little on Edgar Martinez.
I'm a little on too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. 7-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger, 2-time batting title. It's his 10th year on the ballot.
I think that was one of the reasons.
Exactly. I think this was more
it's his last. It was his last year.
Exactly.
That was last year.
I think it's more one of those things where it's I don't want him not to make it.
But see that we can go into someone else that was on their 10th time on the ballot, their 10th year, I mean, that got snubbed.
Yeah, we'll get into
that. We'll get into, but people call Martinez the best DH of all time, and I think that's entirely false. He only had 309 home runs. His career average was good, 312. That's a respectable average.
Yep.
More than 2,200 hits. Again, that's respectable. But he only had 1,261 RBIs to 1,202 strikeouts. So how can you be the best designated hitter of all time and you strike out almost as much as you drive in runs? I don't really think that's plausible. Also, I think the best DH of all time will go to David Ortiz.
Oh, okay.
I agree.
And that's coming from a Yankee fan. I think I think David Ortiz was the most exceptional DH to ever play the game. He was clutch. He could hit with nobody on base. He could hit with bases loaded. It didn't matter. Pressure never got to Ortiz, and he was always, consistent in that aspect. But back to Martinez, I even wrote on my notes, iffy.
Yeah, I feel iffy about it.
I don't think
I'm definitely the most iffy of all four.
I'm not completely against it, but there's people on this list that have similar or stats even above his that
got snubbed.
Got to say snubbed, or even it could also just be there earlier on, like it is his 10th.
Yeah.
In the end, I think the fact that it's his 10th matters. It does attribute to it. Yes,
we'll get into the one guy that I was referring to when talking about Martinez when we go over the snubs. I think you guys agree with me on that one.
Okay, so I think we've said our piece on Martinez. Next one, Doc Roy Halladay.
This was another one where it was iffy.
I think this was I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy had a great career. I think it was a bit of an emotional pick.
Yes.
This is his first ballot, just for the record. He's his first ballot Hall of Famer.
I'm going to go with it was a little bit emotionally based. I'm not going to say at all that he should not be a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely. I mean, again, just to go over the 2-time Cy Young winner, not a small accomplishment. He led the league in wins in both of those seasons, 22 with Toronto, 21 with Philly. Other than his second season in the league, he never had a year under 500. My man was always a winning pitcher. Career win rate of 659, almost 700.
His WAR was 64.3, I think it said on Baseball Reference. I mean, that's good.
Also, only one of 23 pitchers to have a perfect game.
That's true. And he had no hitter in the playoffs, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. His win-loss is impressive. His career ERA is 3.38. His win-loss is 2.03 wins to 105 losses. So he's
he almost completely doubles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's impressive. But the ERA is good considering he pitched over 300 games.
Exactly.
So
he was a very consistent pitcher.
Yes.
Very consistent.
Little known things about him. I mean, they shed a little bit of light on him when they did select him. He got called down. He was in the pros, like MLB, pitching for the Blue Jays, I think it was. Got called down to single A. And then they told him, hey, you need to adjust your arm slot. You're getting hit a lot. You fix it or you're not going to have a job. He went from, over the top or traditional 3/4 to like a little bit of a lower slot and was changed completely different pitcher, and his career skyrocketed after that. Like Nick said, I don't think he wasn't going to get picked, but I think the fact that this was his first time on the ballot and, he had just passed away tragically, it was a bit of an emotional pick. I don't think he deserved it right. Like this ballot, I think there's other guys that could have gotten it over him.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to the guy, to his family.
None at all.
They're going through, I'm sure that, it's a heavy loss.
Very emotional.
And he 100% deserves to be
thoughts and prayers.
Yes.
I just think maybe it would have been more second, third ballot.
Yeah, from a numbers perspective.
That much farther along the line.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely not.
I didn't 100% see it being first ballot.
I agree. All right, I think we've come to a consensus on that one.
Yeah.
And finally, Mike Mussina.
One of my favorite picks for this.
6th ballot Hall of Famer. 5-time All-Star, 7-time Gold Glove.
Love it.
Very interesting award for a pitcher.
I don't know if you guys ever watched when he pitched for the Yankees. I wrote here, he was a consummate professional. He went about his business, never any lit, always just like I said with Mo, like he's the epitome of a professional. Moose was another one of those guys. He was a 20-game winner in his last season as a pro.
Season, yeah.
In his very last season. That in it alone is impressive.
It is.
Another very impressive thing to me, he pitched in the same division his whole career.
Yep. Orioles and Yankees. Right?
Orioles and the Yankees. And arguably the AL East has been one of the toughest divisions in baseball forever.
No, it has.
So doing what he did over that period of time is impressive. He had a WAR of 83.
Yep.
3.68 ERA, struck out over 2,800 hitters. His postseason stats are actually pretty good too.
His postseason stats are okay.
They're not great, but he also
He's got a below 500 win rate. His ERA is 3.42,
which isn't bad.
It's okay
For the amount of games he pitched in the playoffs.
Like I literally have in my notes, okay.
Yeah,
postseason.
Yeah, like I said, he's okay in the playoffs, but again,
he was consistent during the regular season.
Yes, one of the best regular season
Very
pitchers
consistent.
ever.
He ended up top 10 in the Cy Young voting 9 times during his career.
Unbelievable. And he had 270 wins to 153 losses career-wise.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing to me, like I said, he's a very consistent guy, sort of down the same road as Halladay. Not as many, I guess, moments as Halladay, but the fact that he ended his career with a 20-run season is amazing. Because you look at most of these guys, they start to trail off towards the end of their career. You love the game and you want to leave.
Yeah.
You don't want to leave, but he left while he was on top.
Exactly.
He was a solid, consistent player.
Yeah.
He deserved it. That's
all right. So those are the 4 who the Baseball Writers Association of America thought should get in, and looks like for the most part we agree. Maybe not on the timing for all of them, but looks like we agree for the most part. Now we get into the part where we disagree. So, Nick, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
all right. So I'm gonna start off with one that I know Dylan was pointing out to a little bit here.
Oh,
man,
boy.
that was 10th year. That's it for him now. Fred McGriff.
Fred McGriff.
Fred McGriff.
Yeah.
This man
Saw this one coming.
Aside from just he's not in the Hall of Fame now. That's it. He can't.
Yeah, no.
This was
No,
last
but
year.
this is preach it, because this is one of those guys who doesn't have the same name recognition as a lot of these players, but deserves it.
Oh, definitely.
So, go through. Why does he deserve it?
But even before that, even to go even past all that, this man didn't even eclipse 40% on the Hall of Fame ballot.
It's ridiculous.
Yep.
40.
40.
That is such a shame.
You need 75%. This man they didn't even get him up to 40, which is just ridiculous.
It is. Oh, it's a shame.
I don't understand it. Like, the guy was so consistent every single year in and year out, as a first baseman. We've seen it nowadays where first basemen are so streaky. The last real consistent, or few consistent first basemen in the league have been Rizzo, Pujols, and Goldschmidt. Those are the most consistent first basemen I could think of. Everybody else is like up and down, not really consistent. Fred McGriff, I'm not exactly sure on his numbers. I think he was almost a 300 hitter, if not a 300 hitter, his entire career.
His career batting average was
284.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
So 284. That's not bad at all.
Man hit almost 500 home runs.
Yeah.
1,500 RBIs.
Completely outplayed Edgar
2,500 hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5-time All-Star, won the 95 World Series, and 3 Silver Sluggers. I think that's what counts against him. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of accolades.
That's
but he's a
neither does
very
Martinez.
solid.
Honestly,
No, but I
especially-
think that shouldn't count against him.
And those
shouldn't.
accolades came a little earlier on. His last couple seasons, it wasn't a significant drop. He was still pretty consistent.
Yeah.
But not as much as he was the beginning and middle of his career. The man played 22 years. Like,
He played
don't
two
expect,
decades.
yeah. You can't expect there to be like no drop off whatsoever.
Exactly. His stats alone should have gotten him in over Martinez.
I'm
Come
just
on.
as much as I'm surprised he's not in the Hall of Fame. I'm also just from looking at it, how is he barely made it halfway there.
No. I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened.
I think, like Al said, he's not one of those
He doesn't have
bigger
the name
names.
recognition.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where I'm paraphrasing, but one of the criteria that they have when selecting for the Hall of Fame is contributed to the game. And I think, yeah, I know. And yeah, I roll my eyes a little bit at that too. A guy like Fred McGriff, a guy who doesn't have the name recognition, who didn't start a trend or have a rule named after him or anything like that. These are the solid contributors who kind of fall by the wayside.
But on the flip side, why does Martinez have the name recognition he does? Because he was a DH. He just so happened to be in the American League. If he was in the National League, he wouldn't have done shit.
Hey.
No,
this is a snub we can all agree on.
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't have him on my list, but I do agree with it.
It really pisses me off.
No, it does.
He was one of my favorite players growing up. I love, like in the old MLB games we used to play. I loved using him because he was just a guaranteed hit.
Yep, contact guy.
All right, so next guy, Larry Walker.
Oh my God.
Larry.
Okay, not gonna lie, don't know that one.
Forgot that he was on the list.
Larry
He's
Walker.
definitely not on my list.
No,
I knew
he's
he was on the
not
ballot.
on my list.
It's his 9th year, so
Oh, wow.
he only has one more year. He is at 54%, so he needs to jump up another 20% last year. But this past year, he jumped up 20%.
All right, make his case.
Yeah, please do.
All right. Aside from if you put his stats against, to say even Edgar Martinez beats him out.
Yeah.
We just went through this with Fred McGriff, but completely beats him out. MVP, 5-time All-Star, 7-time Gold Glove, 3-time Silver Slugger, and 3 batting titles.
Wow.
I do not know what else you want.
Wow.
Here's the thing.
How do I not know this guy?
What year did he win MVP?
I do not remember
It
the
doesn't
year
say?
exactly.
I will
don't
tell
have
you,
it.
he won
Okay.
MVP in 1997.
There
What team was he on in 97?
Colorado
Rockies. And that is
Wow.
one of the issues that many people believe.
Ah.
Rockies,
yeah,
whole
playing
ballpark.
Colorado.
Yeah. That is one of the issues. And another name on here,
Yeah, on my list.
that's another name on here that many feel like
Oh,
if
he's on my
Larry
list, too.
Walker isn't going to make it, he's not making it.
Yeah, I
Like,
think we're gonna get to it.
We'll get to that name later.
get to that name
you'll
in a
you'll
bit.
hear that name later.
I think all three of us have him
Yeah.
on the list.
Well, these are the only two I have for
Okay.
now. I figured I'd let you guys go over the
All
rest
right,
of
yeah,
them there.
I'll toss
But
him in next.
Larry Walker.
No, I mean those stats you mentioned. That's something. I did not know that.
What was his primary position? He was an infielder, but what?
He
Where?
was a first baseman,
First baseman,
and a
first
right
baseman.
fielder.
I know he played a little bit of second and third too throughout his career.
Probably.
As a first
but,
baseman, 3
career
batting
WAR of
titles?
72.7.
But 3 batting titles as a first baseman? That's impressive.
Man hit 313
Career?
career.
313 career.
That's better than Martinez over here.
That's better than a lot of people.
3 batting titles.
That's impressive.
That's
I
better
I
than
didn't
a
know
lot of
his
people.
stats were that good. I knew he was good, but I didn't know his stats, showed it. Wow.
That's one of the ones that, again, like we said for McGriff, at least McGriff, some people know. Walker is an even lesser name, I guess.
Yeah.
But look what he's...
3 batting titles.
what
3
he's
years where
done.
he won a Gold Glove and a Silver Slugger.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. What the fuck are the baseball writers thinking?
Wow. I mean, I'm looking at this guy's stats. I'm ashamed not to know his name, but I do now.
See, I knew his
yeah.
name. I just didn't know he was that good.
Is it his last year?
Next year.
Next year.
Ooh. All
This
right.
was his
Well,
ninth.
I
I'll
mean,
be rooting for him.
he jumped 20%. He is at 54.6 now.
okay.
He was at like 30-something. So if he jumps
Another
another
20. He
He
might
can
get
get
it.
it.
he might just
But you know what
be
makes me
able-
mad
All
about
right,
that?
Larry Walker for 2020, baby.
Larry Walker
But
2020.
you know what makes me mad about that? He jumped 20%. That's great. But guys like Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds are already over him, and this guy was. We barely knew of him, and everyone knows Clemens and Bonds as the PED guys. So why are they getting higher recognition? Come on, guys like Larry Walker and Fred McGriff should
I
be in
mean,
the Hall
at
of
this
Fame.
point, too, Bonds and... let's get into that a little after.
Yeah.
I think that's a whole other...
So we'll get into mine.
Yeah.
So my first snub is Barry Bonds.
All right. Well, it looks like we're going to do this a little sooner than I thought.
7-time MVP, 14-time All-Star, 8-time Gold Glove, 12-time Silver Slugger, 2-time batting titles.
All right, now you're making me think Larry Walker doesn't deserve shit.
Right? Look, I get it. I get he had the steroids, but this was an age where it was unregulated. Who knows how many people had steroids at the time? He was a great hitter. He was the all-time walks leader.
Yeah, you know why?
Why?
He hit a bunch of home runs because he was on steroids and nobody wanted to pitch to him.
No. What? So what? So the 4 walks? I'm not including intentional base on balls.
Oh, yeah, but okay, as a catcher.
So you pitch around him.
Yes, you pitch around him. I'm going to go up to my pitcher. Hey, Bonds is up. I don't want him to hit a fucking moonshot. We're going to pitch around him and not make an intentional walk.
You make that sound like it's an easy thing to do.
It's a lot easier than you think.
I don't think so.
The guy swung a 31, 32-inch bat, so it's not like he could just reach across the plate and just poke it to left field. He was a great hitter. I'm not taking that away from him. I'm not taking that away from him.
And a lot of his best accolades were before the accusations even started. Before the claims even started.
Yeah, but the claims should have started in his second year or third year when he went from Pirates to Giants.
Well, why are you saying that?
When he was on the Pirates, he was 150 pounds.
None of the evidence dictates that happened early in his career.
There's evidence. There's photo evidence. You got I have his baseball cards from when he was on the Pirates. He was, I swear to God, 185 pounds soaking wet. I'm probably off a little bit, but give or take. Then when he got traded to the Giants, the guy put on 40, 50 pounds and had no neck. There's no amount of working out that you can do that will make you look like that and change your body that much without the help of steroids.
Well, so this is my take.
Are we gonna?
I'm saying, first of all, drug use in the MLB has been documented for a very long time.
Yes,
decades.
Yes,
and at the time when this was going on, there were no rules against it. Guys who get suspended for it, guys like Manny Ramirez, who after rules were established still got suspended, I'm all for it. I get it. A rule was made, you broke the rule. But Barry did it before there was rules. He did it in a time when who knows how many pitchers also did it.
So you're advocating for the use of PEDs to enhance his performance?
No, I'm saying that he did it when everybody else. Exactly. I'm saying that it was an age where who knows how many players did it, and he was still on top.
Like, if I could use a fucking paddle to hit the ball,
if that's
legal, I'm going to use the paddle to hit the ball.
You want to take away his records, fine. You want to put an asterisk next to them, fine. But the man is a part of baseball history, and I don't think for completely infamy. The man brought baseball to a limelight.
Also, are we going to put this records against steroids? He batted .298 career.
Exactly.
That's not steroids. You still got to make contact with the ball. He had over 500 stolen bases.
See,
over 500
stolen bases. I didn't know the stolen bases. But
this was a 30-30 player.
Yeah. I get, don't get me wrong. I get the asterisks. I get the rolling eyes. But I think he deserves to be in there. I think he's a solid player who brought a lot of notoriety to the game and made baseball what it was in the late 90s.
All right, so...
And my next snub is Roger Clemens.
Yeah, there we go.
He's not on my list either.
One-time MVP, 7-time Cy Young winner, 2-time Triple Crown winner, 11-time All-Star, 2-time World Series winner, 7-time ERA leader, 9th on the all-time wins list. The man ahead of him, Maddox, and the man behind him, Tim Keefe, are both already in the Hall of Fame. 2/3 of his career he spent in the top 10 of Cy Young voting.
That we know of.
5 times he was in the top 10 of MVP voting. He has a 12-6 record in the playoffs, 3-0 in World Series.
I'm not completely disagreeing with the Clemens pick, only because I loved Clemens. I loved watching him pitch.
Here we go.
Listen.
You didn't love Barry Bonds.
I did it. I didn't love Barry Bonds. I didn't watch him play, but I can't respect the guy that claims himself to be the home run king, but he used steroids to get there. Just like A-Rod. A-Rod could have been the home run king,
so
but he used steroids to get there.
Disclaimer for our listeners out there.
Number 1 in wins.
Just a disclaimer for our listener out there. Dylan is a baseball player. He wants to be in the majors. He's a very skilled baseball player, but he's also a diehard purist. So I knew what I was getting into when I brought this up. I'm just putting that out there.
Like I said, I love Clemens. I love watching him pitch. I don't respect the PEDs. I know
cannot
respect
I know you don't. And that's the reason why they haven't been in the Hall of Fame as long as they haven't. Is because there are baseball writers who take that stance, who will never, ever vote for someone who used them. And I get that.
But then that brings me to one of my snubs. Or 2 of my snubs, actually. But I'm not going to get into that yet.
Okay. Well, I mean, that I've made my case. It's a case that's been well worn. These guys have all the trophies, have all the awards, and have all the stats to get themselves in there.
But if you're making that case, right, for these 2 guys, then you have to make that case for Mark McGwire. You have to make that case for all the other guys that were on PEDs and could potentially be in the Hall of Fame. A-Rod, for example. They're not going to let A-Rod
A-Rod is somebody who I don't think, for the same reason I don't think Manny.
Why?
After the rule was made, he still broke it and got suspended for a season.
But then he was off the steroids and did amazing.
Well, okay.
But he still broke the rule while it was a rule.
Exactly.
He
exactly.
knowingly did it.
For the same reason that Julian Edelman may not be in the Hall of Fame.
You know what? We're not even going through that one.
Okay.
No, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're
yeah,
saying. But the reason why I'm saying these two guys specifically is that A, they had long careers where arguably you could say at the beginning of the career when they didn't take it, they still had great careers. That's number one. Number two, they were the top of their game during this time.
So I disagree with
Mark
the first
McGwire.
point.
What?
I disagree with
that's
the first
fine.
point a little
If you
bit.
want to disagree with that point is a little
Just
more
a little bit,
subjective.
though.
That's fine. But the point I'm making, the second one that's a little more heavy, is they were the top of their game. Mark McGwire, he was for a period, but he didn't have the nearly long list of statistics that Barry Bonds does.
No. And I can't stand Mark McGwire. Let's have that on record.
Yeah.
I mean, at this
He
point...
was a good action figure.
He was.
He was huge.
At
Couldn't
this
wipe his own
point...
ass.
At this point, the last couple of years, they've been jumping 3% after 3%. They have 3 years left.
Well, because I think the biggest thing is that every year, just like with ballot members, the writers who get the vote go in and out. Some lose their vote, some gain their vote. And I think that the newer voters are going to be more open to the idea.
That's why I think it's going to keep going up. If they go up at this rate,
Well, they've
though,
only got,
not
what,
even
2 years, right?
3 more years.
3 more years.
If they go up at this like 3x3,
they'll
get it to 68%.
They won't.
They'd get to 68 if it's a
If it
steady
goes
Don't
up,
be
3x3.
too sad.
Yeah, right.
But, I mean, I think they're
It's
gonna
all for
get
the
it.
Clemens side of things.
Yeah, I know, right? I liked watching.
Let's put it this way, though.
I love Clemens.
There's no reason one of them should make it and the other doesn't.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like if one of them makes it, the other one's going to
Which
make
is
it.
also why they are both like...
Oh, they're
Like,
hand in hand. They're going to be
0.3% difference.
They're going to be right below the inductees for
Which-
as long as they can be.
Yes.
Okay, but if
They're
they
going to
make
end
it,
at like 72%.
Yeah, it's gonna
if
be
they
so
make
sad.
it, what's to say that Pete Rose doesn't?
I would love Pete Rose to make it.
He should.
I would love Pete Rose to make
The
it.
guy
I
hit.
feel like
He had
that's a whole
4,000
other-
hits.
that's a whole
But
other
I think it's
discussion.
going to take. I think it's going to take a move from the MLB for that to happen.
I mean, they've been making little strides with Pete Rose.
They won't even let the man commentate on the
They've been
game.
making little strides with him.
Yeah,
The little
postseason-
strides is he's on MLB Network.
Yeah,
Hey, that's a-
postseason commentating with A-Rod, which is great to listen to, by the way.
It is. Oh, I love watching those two go off each other.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Two greats of the game who have been scorned by the
Pete
league.
Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and David Ortiz. That's a group right there.
And then you
All
got
right.
goofy Kevin
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Kevin Burkhardt, he knows nothing of what they're talking about.
Oh
He's
yeah,
like,
he
"Oh,
just
yeah."
sits back and watches them talk about technique over a fake plate on the ground.
Yeah, and he's just like, I don't know what they're doing.
All right. Well, not all my snubs are PT users. I've got
man,
two
you're
of them
weird.
here. Sort of jumping off what Nick was saying. Todd Helton.
He's one of mine.
Todd Helton, man. I think he'll get it with time. This was his first ballot.
Yeah. What was he at, percentage-wise?
I don't know. I don't have
16
the-
and a half.
There you go. 16
But
and-
first ballot.
Yeah, first
So,
ballot. He had the batting title in 2000, 3-time Gold Glover, 4-time Silver Slugger. In his rookie year, he was second in Rookie of the Year voting, so he could have gotten that title too. He ended with a batting average of 316, which I think is one of the best we've said here.
As a first baseman, too, so keep that in mind.
And as a first baseman, he was 15th all-time in putouts.
Again, though, it's going to come down to this. If Larry Walker doesn't make it, I
Todd
don't see
Helton's not
Helton
getting
making
it, yeah.
it. Just for the Colorado Rocky effect of the ballpark and all that.
Yeah.
No, I think, yeah, that's the problem. But he had a great slash line away from home as good as he did at home.
I'm pretty sure
yeah,
he played elsewhere, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm... No, he didn't.
No,
what do you mean
he
he
was-
played elsewhere? No,
I
he
thought-
played for one team his entire
No,
career.
I thought he played 1 year without
Nope.
being in
Nope.
Colorado. Okay.
He
Straight
played for
up
the
Rocky.
Rockies' entire career.
I'm thinking of
which
somebody else.
I think is worth something in today's age. I think it's worth something to
Absolutely.
play for one team for your entire
Absolutely.
career.
That should be taken into
I
account.
think
for
that should be a
sure.
point. Yeah, I think that should be a point for. Just a couple things about him. He's one of only 19 hitters since 1900 to boast a 300, 400, 500 slash line in a career spanning at least 500 plate appearances. Who else is in that league? Jimmy Fox, Lou Gehrig, Chuck Klein.
You want to know who else is in that one?
Go ahead.
Larry Walker.
Give him the Hall of Fame. Give
Yeah,
him both
this
the Hall
is-
of Fame.
this is-
They deserve it.
I mean, this is a guy who I think had a very solid career. Another, nose to the grindstone type player.
And you never heard anything bad about him. Never.
Yeah.
Never any bad publicity.
No, I agree. All right, my final snub, in my opinion, the best offensive second baseman of all time, Jeff Kent.
All right, give me 5. I got him on there too. All right.
I think he was best at his position offensively. 1-time MVP, 4-time Silver Sluggers. If you look at his ranks against other second basemen, and the definition of a second baseman, someone who spent more than half their career at the position, he's first in home runs, second in slugging, second in RBIs, third in doubles, third in extra base hits, third in on-base percentage, fifth in total bases, and ninth in on-base percentage plus.
Oh, that just, it stands out.
I mean, he hit double-digit home runs every year of his career.
I love him, and I don't disagree with you, but
I was waiting.
Just being realistic, he's not making it.
Oh, yeah, I don't think he gets it either.
You don't think he gets it?
I want him to.
He hit 100 RBIs 8 times in his career.
As a second baseman, that's impressive, especially when he played.
4 more years, and he's not even over 20% yet.
Yeah, he's not getting it. I want him to, don't get me wrong.
I mean, the biggest misconception about him is that he was a negative defensive player, which I think at worst he was average. And he turned an awesome double play. Like, I mean, he was a solid second baseman.
Yeah, but that's where they're going to get him.
No, defense. I agree. He wasn't anything special on that side.
Like when you're advocating for Barry Bonds, he wasn't just a great hitter. He
was on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, this guy was a force in the postseason too. He was, he put up 9 home runs, 23 ribbies in the postseason alone.
He was definitely one of the best second basemen.
Yeah.
Of his time. Well, not even of his time, of all time. I think he should get it, but I don't think he will.
Really?
I think he deserves it, but I don't think he gets it.
No, I can see that. I can see that.
He's only got a few more years left, right, Nick?
4 more.
Yeah. So.
I mean, 4 is a decent amount.
Yeah, no,
but he's
only.
I think that if guys like Todd Helton make their ways
Yeah.
up, I think Kent can make his way. I think these are guys who, if there's a down year, which next year you see Derek Jeter, and then
that's it.
And then what happens?
That's really it.
And that's good. That's a good thing for guys like this.
Yeah.
Guys who need a down year to get votes. And so maybe we'll see jumps in all of these guys.
I really want Walker to get in, man. He's really good.
I could see
really good.
I could see Jeter being another unanimous.
I don't think he will. I could see it happening, but I don't think he gets.
There's gonna be at least one person that's gonna be like, I'm not gonna do it.
He's definitely first ballot.
Just to spite him, though. Yeah, he's definitely first ballot.
Definitely first ballot.
I think at least one person just be like, I'm not.
Yeah, they'll just to spite it, like spite him.
All right, put it on the books. We're saying one person's going to say no to spite it.
I'm going 3.
Oh, he's going 3 people.
I'm going 1. I'm going 1.
I'm going to say unanimous.
I'm saying all this though, Derek Jeter. Yeah,
I'm going to have faith in humanity.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah,
I'm going to have faith in humanity. All right, Dill, do you have anyone?
Well, I had Helton, McGriff, and Kent. We covered them well. One of the names that we already mentioned, but you guys don't really agree. Manny Ramirez.
Yeah.
I think
Barry Bonds can't make it, but Manny Ramirez.
Listen, I also think David Ortiz should make it, and he was accused of using PEDs too.
He was accused.
There's a difference between accused. Manny wasn't accused.
He was accused and caught.
Yeah.
But how long? Realistically, how long do you think Manny Ramirez used steroids?
Enough to get caught. Enough after the rule was put in place.
I really don't think he used them that long. I don't.
He still used them.
Knowingly.
Okay,
yeah. So did everybody else.
Okay.
So did Cano. So did all these other guys.
Thank you for agreeing with me earlier, by the way.
You're welcome. But
I know. Nick is shaking his head right now, and I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment. I wish you could see him shaking his head.
Whatever. I still think Manny should get in. I don't have the stats on my notes to prove why he should get in, but he was one of the best postseason hitters ever.
I need to get a woefully unprepared button for you.
No, I'm not unprepared.
I'll give you what the stat you brought up before for Helton, the 300, 400, 500.
Go for it.
The only 2 other ones on this list are Larry Walker and Manny Ramirez.
Yeah, no, Manny was a great hitter.
Yeah.
Arguably one of the best right-hand hitters of all time.
But like we said before, he didn't play both sides of the ball well. He wasn't a good outfielder. He was at best. But that's what's going to hold him back aside from the PEDs. I get it.
I think anybody who gets a suspension, it's not going to happen.
No.
I think A-Rod, again, another guy, top of a lot of lists, had great seasons. But he got suspended.
But the
for an entire
the
year.
only difference with A-Rod, I think, is before he got or was on the PEDs and was caught with the PEDs, he was a great player.
Yeah.
In Seattle, he was great. In Texas, he was great. Granted, I think that's when he started taking the roids, was in Texas. But he was still great before that. After that, he had mind-blowing seasons. Mind-blowing. And a testament to your argument before, steroids, yeah, you can hit the ball a little farther, a little harder. Sure, it makes it a little bigger, but it doesn't give you that talent. That's the argument I have with other people.
Yeah.
Except for Barry Bonds.
Except for Barry Bonds. No, yes, Barry Bonds was one of the most talented players to ever play the game, and I can...
Go ahead. No, but finish your man.
You kind of turned me with Bonds. I think he deserves to get in the Hall of Fame off talent alone.
Okay.
The PEDs still piss me off, but
it was a part of the time.
I get it, but that doesn't make it okay. And I get that with Manny. It doesn't make it okay, but there has to be give and take, maybe, or there has to be a standard.
That's the give and take I'm giving, is that after we said no, stop doing this,
then those said guys did.
Anybody who did it after that,
gotcha.
You're breaking the rules.
Gotcha.
Look, I'm taking this take from Nightingale. He's a USA Today writer. He's on the board. I agree with his take on it. That's his take. I'm not trying to rip it off. That's his take, and I agree with it. But it's a give and take kind of stance.
Yeah.
There are writers who are hard line. I will never ever vote for them. There are voters who are like, hey, I don't give a crap. They put up the numbers. They deserve the award. You don't need to have a stance. That's part of the reason why there are so many writers who vote for this, because they want a variety of opinions. Mm-hmm. So if you want to make a case for them, that's perfectly fine. The numbers are definitely there to support you.
Yes.
I'm telling you what my perspective is.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Like I said, you turned me with Bonds.
Yeah.
And it's not like I didn't know Bonds was talented.
Yeah.
But I guess
when you read it out, when you put it on a sheet of paper, it is like, Jesus, man.
Yeah, like shit. You took all those fucking steroids, and that's what got you all those numbers. Come on. But no, he was talented, and on top of the steroids, it helped him and enabled him to do a lot more things. Like A-Rod. A-Rod was 4 home runs away from 700?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think he was 696.
That's our thing to say with Bonds, and I'll even give it A-Rod. As much as we want to say, like, the steroids, obviously they help. Like, yes, but for them to do as much as they did, you could look at other people that took steroids that didn't do half what
as
they
that.
did.
Yeah.
So you got to give it to them too as well.
Exactly. Like I said, the PEDs don't put the bat on the ball for you. It doesn't see the ball for you. It just makes you stronger, which it helps in the long run, especially back then when they did it, because baseball was hit home runs. Yeah. And even now, the game has transitioned to power pitching and power hitting, but that's another topic.
Yeah, no.
My last snub,
go for it,
is Andy Pettitte. I know it's his first time.
Yeah, I think he's going to get it.
I know it's his first time, and he may not have necessarily deserved first ballot, whatever. Yeah. I think he did, solely based off of his postseason stats. He was the best postseason pitcher, or is the best postseason pitcher of all time. I think he has the most wins in the postseason of all time. He's got a ton of strikeouts in the postseason. I don't know where he ranks among them. And like Mo and Moose, his former teammates, a consummate professional, the epitome of a professional, went about his business, was never in the negative limelight except for I took HGH to heal from an injury, and then he stopped taking said HGH. And he threw Clemens under the bus because Clemens supplied said HGH. Clemens also took that and more, which I read in Joe Torre's book. There was a story about that.
Plug. No, Joe Torre does not support this podcast.
I'm not going to get into that whole story, but I think Pettitte deserves it more than Clemens.
I think Pettitte's going to get in. Yeah, I just think that they didn't want to give him first ballot.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a snub.
Scandal.
I wouldn't call it a snub just in that sense. I think he's going to get in.
Yeah,
I think it's first ballot.
He's got a great resume. He is too respected in the public eye still. I think with Clemens and Bonds, there is still a big public disagreement.
Yeah.
But with Pettit, it's less there. There were a few hardliners who were like, no, it entered his body, therefore it is so.
Yeah.
You know,
Forever
and so,
unclean.
yeah, and so, you know, again, I've told you my story. I think he's going to get it. I just don't think it's going to be first ballot.
Do you guys think he deserves it?
I think he deserves it.
To
I think
get
he
it
has a
in
good
general
enough
or
resume.
first
I didn't
ballot?
go
get it
in
in
depth.
general.
Yes.
I didn't do a deep dive on his resume, but from what I do know, yes, I think he's a great postseason pitcher, consistent regular season pitcher. I don't know the accolades off the top of my head.
I'll tell you right now, just based off of seeing him at some recent thing that the Yankees did, or last season, or whatever, I would take him, give him his uniform back, throw him on the mound after a month of conditioning or whatever, getting ready to throw, over 25-30% of the pitchers in the league right now.
Oh, well, yeah.
But that's with him out of shape and not throwing for however many years he's been retired. 3, 4? That's how much he's kept himself in shape, and he was adamant about, being healthy.
Yeah, I got you.
So,
Yeah, man, I'd take Greg Maddux now.
Greg Maddux was unbelievable. Shout out Andy Pettit, though. We love you.
Shout out Greg Maddux.
We also love you.
I love you.
Alrighty. I was a lot more civilized than I thought I was going to be. We did have our little spats, but that went pretty smoothly.
We did good. We did good.
So now we go from talking about the past to talking about the present of the MLB.
Mm-hmm.
Current trend started by the Rays last year, who started Sergio Romo on a weekend for 1 inning. 3 batters and then 4 batters on the following game. An opener. What's your take? Part of what spurred this is that Bumgarner recently said that if the team they were facing ever used an opener, he would, quote, walk out of the stadium.
No. It was if they used an opener in his game, as in for him.
Yes.
For him.
Yes.
Yes.
Not the team he's facing.
For him.
For him.
He would leave the stadium.
And to put it on record, Bruce Bochy had said, told the story while laughing, and it was in a joking manner. But I don't think Bumgarner's kidding when he said that.
I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Bum said
I
something
could
like that.
completely see him, like the camera panning to him in the dugout, and him literally walking into the clubhouse and out of the stadium, because he's that kind of guy. But
turn it into a Geico commercial.
don't use an opener.
Oh no, there you go. It's a DirecTV commercial. When you use an opener, Mad Bum leaves the stadium. When Mad Bum leaves the stadium, thousands of people lose their ticket money.
I like it and I don't. And I like it in the sense that it's something else that's changing the game, because baseball's always changing. It always has and it always will. I don't like it in the fact that it takes away from the traditional aspect of baseball.
Purist.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's a good idea for veteran starting pitchers that are on their last leg, like CC Sabathia.
It's funny because I say the opposite. I honestly think it's best for younger guys.
See, I don't think so.
Because I think that the mechanic behind an opener, personally, I don't think it's good or bad, but I don't see any problems with it.
I think it's just a different strategy.
I think it's a very sound strategy at
yes.
that. I think it's a sound strategy to bring in a guy, because statistically speaking, the first inning is where all the runs are scored, or majority of the runs are scored. All right, it's the most scored inning, and stats will prove that. Number 2, the reason why that's the case is because it's the only inning where you, as the manager, decide who's batting. You know who's your leadoff guys. If you look at lineups across the league, top 5, top 4 are your best hitters on the team. And it goes down gradually from there. So if you bring in a guy, let's say all your righties are stacked. You look at the Astros, 4 solid right-handers there. Jose Altuve, George Springer. You've got these guys all at the top of the lineup. Mm-hmm. You put in a guy who's got a good record against righties, a.k.a. a Sergio Ramos. He comes in, 1 inning, he does his work against the best hitters in the lineup, and then you bring in a young, inexperienced starter against the low end of the lineup. And then, when the 3rd round symptom, or penalty, as they call it, comes up, it's the 3rd round against the bottom of the order, not the top of the order. The top of the order only sees the starting pitcher twice before you sub him out in hopefully 7th inning.
I don't know. I understand what you're saying, but like in the aspect of veteran guys, the veteran pitchers, like CC last year, he wasn't 100% healthy. He had surgery to get unblock his widowmaker artery. It was 90% blocked, which is no one knew that until recently, and people were like, "Why is CC only going 3 innings? Why is he only going 4 innings? Why does he look gassed?" On top of being in the league as long as he has and throwing 98 miles an hour in the beginning of his career for so long, that plays a part. But he also wasn't healthy. So like now he's healthy. You throw in a guy, let's say Chad Green, that throws 100 miles an hour, right? Just completely overpowers guys, has a nasty breaking ball to offset guys as an opener for 2-3 innings if you want, or 1 inning, whatever. Then you take a veteran guy like CC Sabathia, who's used to pitching 6, 7, 8 innings, right? Doesn't throw overpowering anymore, but knows how to pitch, can locate, can fool hitters, can strike guys out with his nasty slider, can locate a 91-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside part of the plate. I think that plays into the strategy a little bit better because it offsets hitters. Personally, as a hitter, if I'm seeing a guy throw 90, I haven't seen guys throw like 100 miles an hour at me, but I've had 95-ish catching and hitting. Seeing 95 in the batter's box and then going to see, somebody that throws 85, it's a huge difference. And it offset, like, it fucks with your eyes a lot.
No, I'm sure.
So in a major league aspect, in a big-ass stadium with all the lights, someone like Chad Green throwing 100 miles an hour, then you got CC's bat there throwing 90, that's going to look like 60. And hitters are going to be fooled for a short amount of time. They're professionals, so they're not going to be, swinging out of their shoes and such. But it'll be an offset to where, it'll help.
It's an adjustment.
Yeah. The baseball's all about adjustments. And I think the opener isn't...
I think this whole thing in general is strategy and adjustments. Yeah. It's just another method.
It is. To the I don't know if it'll catch on. But I want you to hear this stat, because you're a Yankee fan, so you may not know this stat. The average starter in 2018 faced 23 batters. Just 23 batters. That's the lowest total ever.
That's not even...
And it's the tipping point of a decade-long decline. That's an average of 2.5 runs through a lineup.
Yeah, it's not even 3 times through.
Exactly. So if you push that to the middle of the game, and you make that solid 2 the bottom order, the 5 through 9 hitters, I think that's why you do this. And another thing, and again, this is not the way it was used, but in the NL, depending on how well your team does in the bottom of the inning, maybe you're able to get a 9-hitter lineup the first run through.
It's true.
Pinch hitter, the first run through the lineup.
Yeah, you have a bullpen guy that doesn't normally swing the bat. Like their starting pitchers have to,
That's what I'm saying.
On it.
That's what I'm saying. You have a reliever come in, they bat around, maybe they may get to 5 or 6, right?
Yeah.
You have the reliever stay in for one more inning, and then when 9 comes up, you sub him in for a pinch hitter, and you have a 9-hitter lineup, and you roll right through, and your hitter your pitcher maybe doesn't ever have to hit, or maybe doesn't have to hit till the 4th, 5th inning of the game.
I can see where that works with the National League. That seems to be a plausible at best or at worst.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like Nick said, it's an adjustment, and I also think that it ties in with the new age managers a lot less than the older.
Oh,
managers.
Of course, it's a very new age concept. Well, I mean, honestly though, you look at the closer. First closer was in 1977, and it wasn't accepted as a position until almost 10, 15 years later. Closer was a similar thing. At first, it was just relief pitchers until the specialty role. Somebody said, "Hey, look, this guy is very good, but only for an inning. So I'm going to put him in the highest pressure situation where we need 3 outs and we win the game," and that birth of the closer. So, same reason goes to stand here. Hey, look, we've got the best 3 hitters on the team that we're facing at the first inning. I'm going to put a guy who I know can handle them. And then my starter gets to start his game against 5, 6 hitters.
So then, how do the win-losses go into play now? Now, I think with the opener, if teams start to, do it more, I don't think you can take win-losses into account for accolades anymore.
I mean, DeGrom... Do we do that regardless?
Well, after having a season like DeGrom, you don't, because he was that good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think wins. I think this is pushing wins further out the window than they already should be.
I think so too.
You know, I don't think wins are something that should be taken into consideration. Wins are a whole team assessment. They're not a pitcher assessment.
Yes,
Besides the fact that I think wins should still be awarded to the pitcher, the starter, not the opener.
But why? The opener, quote unquote, is the starting pitcher. He started the game.
Well, as it is, you have to pitch a certain amount of innings when you start the game for it to count.
For it to count as a winning.
So the opener isn't going to get it anyway.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
So it'll be whoever comes in relief for the said opener.
So it's going to be the starter, like, quote unquote starter.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
which is how it is.
Like Al said, look at DeGrom's stats this past year. He was 10-9, right?
Yeah.
And he won the
And that's the
Cy
thing.
Young.
And maybe that opens up the discussion for Cy Young for some of these relievers who wouldn't otherwise get that look.
Yeah.
You know,
but
maybe
then it could be taken away from starters that deserve it because they started games through 8 innings and shut teams out.
It could. But this is the thing. This is what I'm saying, is that if a starting pitcher comes in the second or third inning and pitches the rest of the game, are you still not going to respect the performance that guy put up?
Oh, no. You're going to respect it regardless. You're going to respect the performance that your guys puts out if they do well.
Yeah.
But that's not...
I don't think it's taking spotlight off of them. I think it's just making their jobs easier.
Yeah, but when you sign up to pitch and you want to be a starter, if I was the starter, I'd be like, I want the fucking ball. I want it in the first inning, and I'm going to pitch until my arm falls off, and you got to take me out, or until I get tagged. Again,
at the risk of sounding like a hippie,
purist.
You got to have open mind, man.
Yeah, like you said, purist.
This is also Dylan's not a pitcher.
I know, right? We talked about this. We're going to have a Dylan who's a purist shirt on the market soon.
Yeah, we need it. We need it.
We'll get it made up with Julian Edelman.
With the
Hall
Julian
of Fame
Edelman
shirt.
You'll be the only one wearing that shirt. But, like I said, I like it and I don't. And in certain aspects and with certain pitchers, I can agree with it. Certain guys, like Jacob deGrom or Madison Bumgarner, you don't have an opener for them.
No, yeah. And that's the thing. And just like with a closer, there are certain starters or relievers who you can leave them in for 7, 8, 9. So
yeah.
All right. I think we've hit as far as we're going to go on that. So now we've gone from talking about the past of the MLB to the present of the MLB, and now we're going to talk about the future of the MLB, and we're going to hit some of the prospects. So, Dill, we'll start with you. You got a list here.
All right. First on this list is Casey Mize. He was the number 1 overall pick by the Tigers. He went
the Tigers.
What?
Auburn Tigers.
Yes. I was about to say, yeah, from Auburn. I love what I see out of him so far. He doesn't have much to go off of. He had a less than impressive minor league stint. You know, after you get drafted, you have a little bit of minor league time. But what he did in college was impressive. He throws really hard, has a nasty breaking ball. He shows a lot of promise. And being a number 1 overall pick, I can see him in the bigs much sooner rather than later, as long as he stays on the path that he's on right now.
Yeah, just to give you guys some measurables here, he throws a 92 to 97 mile per hour fastball, but his real money pitch is a mid-80s splitter that really just drops when it hits the plate. He's got a mid-80s slider that's sort of his weakness, but he's been working on it. He's got a little more horizontal movement. It's got more of a curve look that he's been working on it in the offseason.
I saw something yesterday about the slider, and they said that he's been working on it so much that it's nasty now.
Yeah.
Like, it's really good.
If that's real, and we'll see during this spring training, that's definitely something to keep an eye on. He's got an athletic frame. The only thing was durability that we worried about.
Mm-hmm.
But he pitched a full season last season. You know, at Auburn, had a great season.
If I'm not mistaken, he had Tommy John in college.
Yes. Yeah, no, he's had a couple surgeries.
Yeah.
But, like I said, the biggest thing was last season he pitched a full season. And he was first in Division I for strikeout and balls to base on balls ratio, 12 to 1.
He was very, very, very good.
Yeah. He also pitched a no-hitter against Northeastern in March.
Wow, that's pretty good.
So, yeah.
Northeastern's not a bad team.
Yeah, so as far as his future, I think, he's going to be a number 1 on the rotation. I don't think this year, next year, but,
he'll be 1 and 2 with Fulmer if they keep him.
Yeah.
Next on my list is this is one of the obvious ones. Vlad Jr. He's just unreal talent. He comes from a Hall of Fame background. His dad was one of the best hitters of all time, and just the stuff that he did last year in the minors, and even on MLB Network, the guy hit a home run off of a tee opposite field in a professional ballpark. Hitting a home run off a tee is almost unheard of. It's hard to do because the ball is stationary and you're supplying all the power. He did it opposite field, which is even harder to do off of a pitch, let alone off the tee. So this guy, he's
That's gonna be a star.
He's top tier. He's going to be a superstar.
Just to give you guys the measurables, he hit a slash line of 389, 455, 624 in 24 games in AA last year. 12 walks, 12 strikeouts, and 14 extra base hits. He covers the zone. What he's known for is covering the entire strike zone. Mm-hmm. He doesn't swing unless he thinks he's going to make contact, and if he makes contact, he makes sure it's with the good part of the bat. I mean, the way they talk about this guy is, Tony Gwynn style.
He's literally the second coming of his dad in every aspect of that.
A little bit. The one thing that his dad was known for that he's not known for is chasing outside the strike zone. His dad made a point of reaching out and making hits out of garbage pitches to a hilarious degree. But he doesn't quite do that.
No.
He will only swing at something that's in the zone. His strikeouts, which are rare, are usually because the zone is something he doesn't agree with. Mm-hmm. And so he'll find himself looking at the umpire more times than not.
It's rare he gets overpowered.
Yeah. Defensively, he's average, above average at best.
He's a little big for third base, I think.
So that's the thing. He is currently their shortstop.
Really?
Yeah. The plan, I believe, is to move him to third.
I think that's he's
definitely got the arm for it. He doesn't quite have wheels, but he's got great instincts when it comes to pitching. So he may steal on pure jump alone.
Yeah.
Good, quick first step.
I can see them moving him over to first base.
Yeah, down the line.
Just purely off of his size.
Down the line. He's dude is thick.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
With 2 C's.
Thick.
But, so as far as his future, the Jays actually announced today they plan on keeping Guerrero down until he cannot accrue a full year of service. It's unfortunate, but it's part of the game. Probably won't see him until late April. Then after that, then the clock starts. Hopefully he, for the Jays' sake, hopefully he likes it there and wants to stay there.
With or without him, the Jays aren't going to do too much this year.
But that's the thing. That's the sort of the argument, so to speak, when it comes to this part of the business.
Yeah.
Is that the fans want to see Vlad. It's like my man's making waves, but you're not going to make it to the playoffs this year. So you're going to
They have, I believe, 6 prospects in the top 100, though.
Yeah, they do. No, the Jays have a farm system.
So we're going to see them coming soon.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. So I don't think we're going to see Vlad, but we are going to see him this year. And I think we're going to see him early this year.
Thank God.
And I can't wait to see what he can do.
Oh, I can't. I might buy a jersey. I'm a fan.
Next.
Fernando Tatis Jr., another one like Vlad, covers the whole zone, hits everything, completely mashes, got tons of power. I'm not too sure if his dad was this good, but he is incredible.
No, he was not.
No, he was not.
He is incredible.
Yeah, so just to give you guys the lines, in his age 18 season last year, teenager, he just straight up destroyed Class A pitching. He posted a slash line of 281, 390, 520, wow. Crushing a franchise record 21 home runs for Fort Wayne.
It's unreal. He needs to be on the opening day roster. I don't know if he can.
He's no official announcement yet, but it's likely they're going to do the same thing, where they will keep him in the minors for 6 weeks or so, just so he can't get a full year of service, and so they can keep an extra year of team control.
Gotcha.
He's going to be fighting for that spot, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's an average runner, high glove, plus arm.
Outfielder, right?
Well, no, shortstop.
I thought he was an outfielder, too.
No, I mean, he can't play outfield. Shortstop's where he's at right now.
Gotcha.
His bat, solid plus.
He's going to be a 3-hitter.
Man's a
double
talent
plus power.
The man's a talent of, number 1 prospect, but then you got, Guerrero, who's just next level.
I mean, Tatis and Guerrero are both pretty well admired.
Oh, yeah.
Guerrero's got a couple years on him, though.
But, Guerrero's, 21, I believe? Or 20? He might have just turned 20. So Tatis just turned 19, I believe. So not too many years. Okay. I see Tatis making it this year. I don't think the Padres are making the playoffs this year. So, next one on the list
is Joey Bart. I believe he was the number 2 pick by the Giants. Catcher. Very, very, very skilled. He was very high on a lot of draft boards. A lot of people... He was very highly touted. And I think the Giants got a steal because, they had their franchise catcher in Posey. Posey went down with a hip injury. And, catchers don't last that long in that position. It comes with the territory.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I understand because I'm a catcher.
Yeah.
So now I think what they can do is end up moving Posey out to first base and getting Bart in there sooner rather than later. Mad Bum came up to him in spring training and said, let's go on number 1. Meaning, let's go on the first bullpen of spring training. Which, to me, if Mad Bum came up to me and said, let's go on number 1, I'm in pure awe. And also honored because he picked me, not his catcher of however many years they've been together, of that battery. He picked me, the rook, to catch his first bullpen of spring training. I'm calling my friends, my family, everybody saying, Mad Bum picked me today. That's awesome. And I really, really think he's got a high ceiling. I think he's going to be one of the best catchers in the league. And aside from his defensive skills and how good he is behind the dish, he can fucking hit.
Yeah, as far as his scouting report, it's, he's a cerebral catcher behind the plate. He can call games pretty well. As far as offensively, he's got a lot of raw power. He crushes doubles and home runs like they're nothing. However, he is a very strikeout-prone hitter. He swings a lot, got a long swing, high strikeout ratio, high swing and miss rate. But those are things he can work on. Those are things he can tweak in the minors. Same article that talked about Mad Bum also talked about how he's staying very close to Buster Posey during the spring training.
Very good.
It's his first camp, and Buster had definitely taken him under his wing.
Good.
And talked about how Benji took him under. So,
what a
it's
line
good
of
to
catchers that team's had.
Hey, when you're known for something, it's good to keep maintaining that position.
That's awesome. Wow.
Like the opposite of Elway. Next player. All right. I'm sorry if I butchered the name a little bit. Alex Kirilloff.
I think you got it.
Of the Minnesota Twins. Number 9 prospect. He was the Twins minor league player of the year. Shot up to number 9 just this past year. He led the minors in doubles and had 101 RBIs.
Wow.
What position does he play?
He is an outfielder for the Minnesota Twins.
Oh, nice.
An outfielder driving in 101 runs. That's impressive.
Yes. Do we know what the plans are for him? Is he 2019, 2020?
I believe... I do not know actually on that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll jump to the next one.
Well, with those stats, I can tell you right now, he's highly touted. He'll probably get called up within a year or two.
I believe he's this year.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get called up sooner rather than later.
Next, we have someone who's a little more experienced than some of these other prospects.
Oh yeah,
Alex Reyes.
Yep.
He already has 13 games in the MLB, but he is still considered a prospect by, I believe, like 1 out. It's like something ridiculous.
Wow, that's crazy.
That he's still considered a prospect. He's been the Cardinals' top prospect for the past 4 years.
Yeah, they signed him at age 16 out of high school.
Yeah, Tommy John surgery, lat tear, one thing after the other.
They signed him for a record, I believe it was like $5.5 million out of high school.
16 years old. Imagine $5.5 million in your pocket at 16 to play baseball. Come on,
that's a lot of candy.
This year we'll see. See where that talent is. I mean, who knows if after the injuries and stuff he's gonna be what they saw when they first went for him. But all right, so next, Nick Senzel for the Cincinnati Reds. Now he is generally an infielder, but the Reds have an opening in center field right now, and the plan seems to be to get Senzel into that opening.
That's big.
I like that idea.
That's big.
I like it.
And honestly,
this season, they want to make him starting this season.
This opening day?
Yeah.
Opening day.
They want to make him the opening day starter.
Hey, Nick Senzel, if you're listening, please Do well in spring training so we can see this, please. Oh my god, I can't wait.
Because he's blocked
Great
off
team,
at second base.
Mhm.
They got Scooter over there.
Scoot.
So, but
man.
center field's open. They saw him catching fly balls and stuff, and they're like, you know what, let's try this out. And they're working him there.
Puig and Kemp. Imagine that.
That'd be a fun. That's going to be a fun team regardless. But that'd be even more
that's a fun team no matter what.
I'm so excited for that team.
He might be one of the prospects I'm most looking forward to for this season.
I'm gonna keep a close eye on him.
So, So we talked about the past, present, and future of the MLB there. Over the course of, I don't know if we're going to start next week. We're still figuring that out, but we're going to be doing divisional previews for the MLB, kind of giving our take on who we think is going to win, how competitive we think it's going to be. So stay tuned for that. So this last question for the discussion period kind of spouted out of a yay or nay we had last week. Of the 4 major sports, which has the worst All-Star game and which has the best? I feel like I'm going to be in the minority with this one. So I will let the 2 gentlemen next to me here.
You wanna tell them what the worst All-Star game is?
Everybody listening, the worst All-Star game is the Pro Bowl. There is no question. There's no way around it. The Pro Bowl is awful. It is the worst. It's painful to watch, and I don't like it at all. Nick?
I just don't. What are you?
All right, is it my turn?
No, it's Nick.
Is it my turn yet?
It's still Nick.
What's all right? Just I want to know.
I got
what's
a
worse.
list, buddy.
All right, so tell me where this list is of that's worse than 2-hand touch football for the NFL All-Star Game.
Okay. Well, first I want to say the worst is NBA. The worst All-Star weekend belongs to the NBA. I'm sorry. The best is NHL and NFL. That's my best. But I'm going to get into why the NBA is worst. Okay?
He said weekend.
The whole weekend, not even the game. Just the weekend.
I'm talking about weekend. That's why I'm not
goodness.
just talking about the game. I'm talking about the weekend.
The festivities, the dunk contest.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
And it didn't always used to be this way. The NBA used to be the best, arguably, in my opinion, but that's no longer the case. The dunk contest has been reduced to a dog and pony show where props matter more than actual physical dunks.
I'll partially give you that one. The
dunk contest has become a joke.
They have reduced the scoring to a weird sprite-based economy, which I don't get anymore. 3-point contest has been bad, has been very top-heavy. This year has a chance to break that, so eyes will be on that. It's a good field this year,
I like the field
so I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
Skill contest, no problems. It's a great part of the weekend.
It's interesting.
It's always fun to watch. Best part. So no problems there. Rising Stars should be a bigger deal. Always an afterthought. It's always forgotten. It's the rookies, and it's a World versus USA. I love that concept, but it gets no press. It gets tossed to Thursday night or Friday night, which is the night nobody looks at the NBA.
Actually, I like the way they used to have it, where it was rookie versus like second years.
Yes,
I
even
prefer
that.
that way.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I prefer
I remember that.
I like that idea
Andrew
too.
Fields,
Captain
one of my
Airball.
favorites. Yeah,
Captain Airball.
But yeah, I like that. But then they changed it, and now it's World versus USA, which I don't mind because we have a lot of international players in the NBA, so they can do that. But it's just such an afterthought, and it's forgotten, and it's pushed to the bottom of the lineup. And then the NBA is always claiming to be the talk of the town, and it always flaunts its celebrity guests, the courtside seats and interactions. Joel Embiid just jumped over Regina King yesterday in a basketball game.
Kicked her in her bun, by the way.
But the celebrity game is a long list of nobodies.
Yeah,
You know,
this year.
the headlines, the actual headlines, are Mike Coulter from Luke Cage. I watch Luke Cage, so I think that's cool. Chris Daughtry, okay. It's a name I recognize, right?
I mean, he's over and done.
Yeah, JB Smoove. Okay,
Hey.
he shows up every year. I feel
Yeah.
like, my man's a staple. Hassan Minaj, not too bad. Kind of a trendy Netflix-type comedian. But let's get to the real quote-unquote headliners. Dr. Oz. You've always wanted to see him play basketball. Oh, we've got Bo Reinhardt, lead vocalist of Need to Breathe.
Who?
Exactly. AJ Buckley, right? You know, from CBS's SEAL team.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. And then this guy called Ray Allen. You know it's bad when your celebrity game has to feature an actual basketball player.
Well, they always have an actual basketball player.
But there's no, he's only on one team.
No, that can't be.
I'm looking at the lineups. The closest they have is the WNBA Rookie of the Year on the other team.
Because they usually have a WNBA and
but they have a WNBA player on both teams.
All right, so
It's just going downhill.
no,
that
I
is
still
going downhill.
I still
And
think
then the featured game, right?
I think
the
so.
All-Star
I think so, too.
game it's not, you can barely call it basketball. It's an all-star shoot-around, all right? The fourth quarter is a glorified dunk contest. There's no defense. And this is the problem, and it's not entirely their fault. It's because players aren't chosen for defense. Because players are chosen because of popularity, and they're chosen because they shoot the most and they score the most. And even if you are chosen for defense, you don't get a chance to showcase it at all.
I don't want
At least with the
about
Pro
defense.
Bowl, defensive players get some recognition. They get to pick. They get picked. They get to go. They get
to go, and then I see Mike Evans playing defense.
Yeah. And they get to two-hand touch.
Well, this is the thing. This is the reason why I like the NFL, is because the NFL actually makes effort to try and put players in weird and uncommon circumstances.
I mean, the NBA could do
You had
that, but-
freaking Von Miller throwing during the skills challenge this year, which was so much fun to me. He actually had a higher score than some of the quarterbacks.
Well, that's why the NBA has added in the skills competition the big men. Because think about it this way: with the NBA, with the NFL, you have more room to do that because each position is much more different.
Yeah, but
than
they're
the
doing
NBA.
it the wrong way because they're pitting the big men against the little men.
But at the same time, the NFL, they don't even promote the skill competition. Like you're saying, the Rising Star
Yeah, they
thing.
do. It's
they
on
do
ESPN
not.
on prime time.
They
On
don't promote
Friday
it.
night. There's
You
only
don't-
2 nights. There's Friday night and then there's a game.
We hear about the dunk contest, 3-point contest. Everyone's looking to see who's going to be in it for months before. You
Okay,
don't know who's
yes.
doing the skills competition
I will
until
give you
you
that.
watch it.
I will give you that, but the quality of the competition is still better on the NFL side.
I disagree.
I'm sorry. The 3-point contest has been poor showing. The dunk contest has been poor showing. Up
I
to this point.
enjoy the skills contest in the NFL. I enjoy it in just an entertainment way, but not in a competition way.
No.
Way whatsoever.
And look, I understand. The NFL Pro Bowl has been reduced to two-hand touch.
Yes.
But even with two-hand touch, you're still seeing players make plays on both sides of the ball. Jamal Adams had 2 interceptions. You know, there were sacks. Yes, they weren't dragged to the ground sacks, but they were still sacked. The linemen are still holding each other off.
Barely.
You know, you're still seeing technical feats from both sides of the ball where, I've seen all-star basketball games where there are guys just standing around, where they're just letting them do alley-oops in the middle of the
same
game.
thing about
where
the Pro Bowl.
LeBron James took a glass of water from Kevin Hart on the sideline.
I think that's entertaining.
I think it's entertaining.
I don't think that's entertaining. That's not what I'm watching the game for. But like I said, I think honestly the unsung heroes of the NHL. They have a lot of cool moves.
It is.
The way they do their All-Star game
It's a
as
tournament.
divisions versus divisions. I think that's cool.
That's awesome.
I think their biggest hit is that they don't publicize it enough. I don't get to watch it, and sometimes they don't even know when it's on. But, I do give them a lot of credit. I love their format.
Are we really giving the best one to the one that we almost...
don't watch? Well, that's why I put both of them on
I'm not even
there.
going to say know nothing about because I follow it, and I do watch it here and there, but... They don't really promote it like
They
the other
don't.
sports do.
No, they don't.
So it's not even to say a personal. We don't really follow NHL. They don't. They just don't do it the
promote
same
it
way the
enough.
other
They
sports
don't.
do.
And I think that they could be the clear number one if they did.
Yes,
Yeah, probably.
Baseball's in the middle. I feel like baseball could have a good year. This is a good
baseball's
year for
consistent.
it. There's a lot of hype around it this year. A solid home run competition. A solid baseball game. If they get a good celebrity game
That's,
cast.
you know what
I
it
think
is
that's
with
my
the
number
game
one.
itself too.
What, baseball?
Yeah.
You know what it is with the
obviously.
game itself too. Unlike the NFL, NBA, any of those others, you can't fake the game. You can't. You can't be like, oh, I'm a swing less. You're not going to touch the ball if you take something off your swing. If you take something off your throw, the other team's hitting a home run every time.
Yeah.
You can't.
Well, you
trick
could
it.
argue a similar state for football. I mean, as far as tackling, I agree. But, when you're a quarterback, you can't half-ass a throw down the field.
Well,
I feel like they do
in
a little bit.
A little
I'll
bit.
give it in terms, but I mean in baseball,
You
the only
literally
thing
can't
you're
in
not
baseball.
going to see, and not even to say you're not going to see it, you still see it, but you might see a little less often, is players go all out, like, dives that are a little more
I think you'll see that more in
safety-issue-wise.
baseball than anything else.
And you still see it more in baseball
Yeah.
than anything else.
Yeah.
But that might be the only thing you might see a little less full speed in baseball.
No, I agree. All right, I think we all made valid points.
Yeah.
I think I swayed you a little bit into the trash that is the NBA All-Star Weekend. By the way, tune in this weekend. It's the NBA All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
Speaking of the NBA
NBA All-Star Weekend, we're gonna get into a little more detail about that right now. So the first event,
After it was trashed.
well, like I said, I do have a lot of hope for it this year because they have a pretty even field. Okay, so to that point, 3-point contest. We've got Devin Booker from the Suns, Seth Curry from the Trailblazers. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to give you guys the odds. Devin Booker from the Suns, plus 400. Seth Curry from the Trailblazers, plus 600. Stephen Curry from the Warriors, plus 300. He's the favorite. Danny Green from the Raptors, plus 1,400. Joe Harris from the Nets, plus 450. Buddy Hield from the Kings, plus 500. Damian Lillard from the Trailblazers, plus 800. Chris Middleton from the Bucks, plus 2,000. Dirk Nowitzki from the Mavs, plus 3,000.
Yeah.
Long shot, if you want some money on that.
Yeah.
Kemba Walker from the Hornets, plus 1,400.
Dirk Nowitzki with the slowest
I would
fucking motion
love
of
to see him win that.
He's
I don't think he's going to.
He's not even going to get through all of them.
This is a basketball player. My man is still a contract basketball player.
Yeah, but
He can't get through a 3-point contest?
no, because he doesn't shoot in the same form of like that type of style. You need to be quick,
Yeah, you do. You do.
and the whole height thing doesn't
I want
help.
to see him
that
fade away for every shot.
1 foot fadeaways from 3 all day. Aside from that, his whole like form is slow. He's very tall and lanky, so the distance of his arms going all the way up and around, he's not getting through them all.
No, yeah, I agree.
He even petitioned to get 5 extra seconds on.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
That's funny.
All right, so pick a winner. I got Joe Harris.
No.
I got Booker.
Ooh.
And Seth Curry will being his brother.
Seth Curry.
Beating his brother for a second time this week.
See, that was who I was deciding between.
Ooh.
Seth and
Second
Booker.
time this week.
All right, slam dunk contest. We've got Miles Bridges from Charlotte at plus 200. John Collins from Atlanta at plus 275. Okay, bear with me on this one. Hamidou Diallo.
Hamadou
from
Diallo.
What?
Hamadou Diallo.
Hamidou Diallo.
That
from
was actually friends with him.
OKC plus 300. And Dennis Smith Jr. from New York at
Shout
plus
out.
125.
I got
He's
my boy.
the favorite.
I got my boy DSJ winning it all.
I got DSJ as well.
DSJ's winning it. All right, yeah.
I gotta give love to my New York player.
Let's-
As long as I can say that.
Former Maverick and current New York.
Current
player.
Nick.
Yeah.
Skills challenge. We've got Mike Conley from the Grizzlies at plus 500. Luka Doncic from
Yeah.
Mavericks at plus 300. He's the favorite.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox from the Kings at plus 500. Nikola Jokic from the Nuggets at plus 450. Kyle Kuzma from the Lakers at plus 600. Jason Tatum from the Celtics at plus 450. Nikola Vucevic at Magic at 750. And Trae Young from the Hawks at plus 400.
I got Jokic and Fox. I can't decide. One of those.
Luka's taking it. I'm going with the favorite.
I'm taking Fox.
I love De'Aaron Fox.
I like Fox too. I think this is where he will shine.
But Jokic is unreal.
You know what
He
I
is.
think it comes down to, especially with this one, those passes. Some of these guys overestimate it
Yeah.
and try to go too quick. I think Luka's going to take it just because his passes are like on a string.
And then
You
he
guys
just bang his
ridiculous.
head a couple times after he wins.
Hey, that's... Yep, after he wins.
After he wins.
Have you guys seen Jokic pass the ball?
That's full court passes. We're not doing
Not
full
even
court
full court.
passes.
Half court
This one-
passes. That guy's arms are as long as this table right here.
He's going to place the ball into the
He's like
tire.
this. Here we
There
go.
you go. You're going to place
Here
the
we go.
ball on the tire.
Here we go.
Bounce pass.
All right, I don't
Bounce
have-
pass is going to be too hard for him. He's got to step back.
I don't have odds on this, but we've got the Rising Stars Challenge. On Team US, we've got Jared Allen, Marvin Bagley III, Lonzo Ball, John Collins, De'Aaron Fox, Jaren Jackson Jr., Kevin Knox, Kyle Kuzma, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, and Trae Young. On Team World, we've got OG Anunoby. I
Yeah.
probably butchered that name. DeAndre Ayton, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Luka Doncic. Oh, this freaking world category. Shai, I'm going to destroy these names. Shai Gilgeous Alexander, Rodions Kirchuch, Larry Markkinen, Josh Okogie, C.D. Osman. I swear these are all real. Ben Simmons.
Well,
It's
just
like some
just
of them
off
I
those names
knew and I
alone.
wanted to help, but it's just so much fun. Okay.
Screw
Just
you.
off those names alone, I think the world wins.
They certainly beat me tonight.
Yeah.
You're going world?
I'm going world.
Al?
I'm gonna take the upset. I'm gonna go U.S.
I'm going world. Any MVP predictions?
Luka. I know. Is he in it?
Yes, he is.
Luka.
And that
Well,
is his whole
I'm
mind.
going U.S. So I'm gonna say Mitchell. I'm gonna say Donovan Mitchell.
Luka.
All right, I'm going Luka as well.
I think if world wins, I think it's Luka.
Yeah.
All right, Nick. I'll let you take the featured event since you're
The
such a
featured
staunch
event.
defender of it.
We got Team LeBron. We have the starters: Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden. And then the subs: Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, Damian
He's
Lillard.
a sub.
That's insane.
Yes. Damian Lillard, LaMarcus Aldridge, Karl Anthony Towns, Bradley Beal, and Ben Simmons, who is within a trade.
I cannot
That was
believe they
me.
allowed a trade.
Trade Ben Simmons for Russell Westbrook.
This is the other part of the NBA. Even the fact that they're letting players pick players, I'm not completely against it.
I think it's stupid.
I think it's stupid,
I
but I'm not
love it.
completely against it. Now they're allowing players to trade
love
players.
Stupid.
And let me just finish the LeBron team. Dwayne Wade.
I was going to say,
But,
yeah, who's the veteran?
I
Of
think
course.
the way they should really do it is line them up against a wall and
There you go.
have them pick it.
You get to throw a dodgeball at the player you want.
No.
Boom.
Day
Black
of.
booties.
You don't know what team you're on until the day of. All right, let me go through the other team. Team Giannis. We have the starters: Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Paul George, Kemba Walker, and then the reserves: Chris Middleton, Nikola Jokic, Russell Westbrook, Blake Griffin, D'Angelo Russell, Kyle Lowry, Nikola Vucevic, and Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk.
All right.
Team Giannis.
I got Team
And,
LeBron.
Giannis is going to be the MVP.
I got Team Braun.
Team-
Davis is going to be the MVP.
Team LeBron. Oh, there we
Yeah.
The
go.
bench player is going to
I'll
be
do
the
it.
MVP.
I'll do it.
You know what?
I went
team,
there.
Team LeBron's winning it. It's
The team is stacked, but I got to pick Giannis.
Team
just because
LeBron's.
I don't
No,
like LeBron.
Team LeBron's winning it. James Harden's gonna do his what's it called? 7-step back and hit half court shots.
Speaking of which, that step back got stuffed the other night. Good for him.
After 43
As he
points worth of
chapsticks
them.
his lips.
After 43 points.
That was not
worth of
lipstick, folks. That was
step-backs.
chapstick that you heard opening.
It's cold.
All right, so there you go. There's your predictions. Put your money on their players.
Or don't.
Or don't.
Or don't.
But yeah, so tune in this weekend. By the time this comes out, I believe the celebrity game will have already been played.
And the Rising
So I know you'll be disappointed that you missed that one.
Insert sarcasm here.
So now we're going to go to our final segments. First one, world famous yay or nay.
Yep.
Dill, why don't we start with you?
All right. Should all sports do jersey swaps?
Nick,
Yes, 100%.
I say yay.
I say yay as well. Unanimous yay. Our second one, by the way.
Okay. Nick?
Nice.
All right. Are two-way players like Otani good for baseball?
I say yay.
Yay.
Yay, there we go.
Oh, there we go. So far, so good.
I like it.
Will there ever be another Bo or Dion, a.k.a. an athlete who professionally plays two sports at the same time? Dill?
Nay.
Nick?
Yay, but not anywhere near the level of them.
I'm going to say nay. I just don't think that... I think that with the level of publicity and training required now, it's not as lax as it was back then.
Yeah.
Dill, go for it.
Will Mike Trout go down as the best baseball player to ever play the game?
Nick.
Nay. Someone's passing him eventually. Even right now, yes, but I
I'm going to
won't
say
ever.
nay straight up just because he doesn't have the hardware for it yet.
I'm going to say yay. Just stats alone, the guy's on.
Purist.
Yes. Will the NFL eventually eliminate kickoffs similar to the AAF?
Woo, woo, woo. I'm going to say nay.
I'm also going to say nay.
I'm gonna say yay.
Yeah, I can see
As much as
I
I hope they don't.
Has Twitter/social media become too big a part of sports?
Yay.
Yay.
Nay, I don't think so yet. I think it's just a part of it. I don't think it's too big yet. I think people still understand what it's worth.
A 21-year-old kid announced that he wanted to play in the NFL over the MLB on Twitter. It didn't come out on the news.
It's true.
It came out on Twitter.
This is true. This is true.
And we're talking about positive news, not even...
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Not in a negative way.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Will Tim Tebow make the MLB roster for the Mets this year? Or ever?
This year or ever?
Okay.
Mainly this year, but segue yes or no to
Nay.
ever.
Nay this year, yay ever.
Eventually, even if it's for an at-bat, he's gonna make it.
I think yay this year, so yay.
Well, yes,
obviously.
Wow.
But I think he does this year. Especially if the Mets take a dip and they're not as good as expected.
Okay, Nick.
All right. Is James Harden's step back a travel?
Yay.
I'm going to take the stance of NBA refs across the country and say nay.
It's a fucking travel.
All right, finally. Will Gronk retire this offseason?
Nay.
Nay. Tom Brady's still there. Gronk's still there.
Yay. Yay. I think my man is finally feeling it. I think he came out drunk to the media day and he was like, this is it. I'm living it up. All right. So as we say, these are just yay or nay questions. If we like the discussion, we'll get into it later. So finally, it's time for our performer/headlines of the week. Dill, you've got one here.
Paul freaking George. Wow.
What do you do?
This guy, just this month alone, I know it's only, Valentine's Day, the 14th.
It's about halfway through the month.
Halfway through the month, he's averaging over 40 points, or just about 40 points per game. That's incredible. In his last 12 games, I don't think he's scored under 25 points. He's making a case for the MVP.
He is. No, he is.
He's showing everybody why he made the correct decision to continue to team up with Russell Westbrook and compete in the West.
Oh, he is.
I think they're one piece away from being over that hump, and that could potentially get them to the finals again. And
There's still a decent amount of season left, too.
There is. And if he
strengthen that
continues to
case.
play the way he's playing, guaranteed MVP, and that team's going to go a little bit into the playoffs. They're not going to win a lot, but I think they'll get there and do okay. But I love the way he's been playing. Love it. He's always been one of those guys that I love watching play because, again, out of the limelight, never really had a problem publicity-wise until he broke his leg, and that's not a problem, in the public eye. It just sucks. He broke his leg. But I'm so happy he's healthy, and I'm happy he's doing well.
Okay, cool. All right, Nick, you've got your performance of the week. I just noticed the first one.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right, first one. Panama baseball. There we go.
Sounds like a Jimmy Buffett song.
Panama baseball won their second ever Caribbean series.
Oh, wow, really?
Good for them.
That's awesome.
First since 1950.
That's really cool.
And they
actually.
haven't played in the series since 1960.
Okay, that makes more
even,
sense.
They weren't even supposed to be in it. The series was...
Jeez. You're making a strong case here, Nick.
They weren't even supposed to be in it.
Shout out to Panama baseball. We're making a real strong case for it here.
Clerical errors for the win. You said Panama? I thought you meant Salvador.
Venezuela?
There you go.
Speaking of Venezuela, that's where it was supposed to be. But because of some safety issues, they moved it to Panama, which is why they put them in as a guest entry, and they ended up winning the whole fucking thing.
Holy
Good
shit.
for you guys.
Yo,
Wow.
that's amazing. That's
That's
an even
awesome.
better story than the joke I could have come up with.
Yeah. Wow.
That's awesome. Wow, props to you,
You know
Panama
damn
baseball.
well that there's going to be some MLB scouts in Panama
That's, wow.
very soon.
Good pick. Good catch there.
That's awesome.
Next, we have Chris Clemens. Have either of you heard of Chris Clemens?
The name sounds familiar.
I'm pretty sure I asked you who's Chris Clemens before the podcast.
The name sounds
today.
familiar, I have to say.
You probably did. And the reason it might sound familiar is because he's scored a couple points in the NCAA. He's currently a college basketball Division I player
Okay.
for the Campbell Fighting Camels.
Yeah, we're leaving all this dead air in the final cut.
That wasn't for emphasis. We're truly stunned.
Yeah. No, they were crickets.
Fighting camels.
Fighting camels.
They just beat
the
Hampton
Humpty
College 87-84, where he scored 48 of their points.
Jeez.
On top of that, with that game, he has moved to 9th all-time scoring in NCAA Division I history.
Nice.
With 5 games left, he's on pace to jump into 6th by the end of his college career. That's without any type of tournament play after.
Good for you, Fighting camels.
Zion.
Chris
Who?
And just a quick little headline to end off my
boy.
performers and such. Julian Edelman went
my
and
head so you guys
shaved
can't
his
see me.
playoff
Yeah, I
beard
saw
on Ellen.
I saw that. For
And
charity,
just-
right?
That was cool, yeah.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Just wanted to bring that point up there. Okay.
Are
I'm
you good?
Yes, I'm good now.
Alrighty, time for my headlines of the week. Got some good ones this time. So the first one, and this one's a quick one. I don't know if you guys follow the CFL, Canadian Football League. They made a signing. I don't know if you follow the teams.
Yes, big signing here.
Toronto Argos signed defensive tackle Poop Johnson.
Do you know why they call him Poop Johnson?
No, go for it if you
The
know
reason
that
they
one.
call him Poop Johnson is in an interview. They were asking him about his weight, and he said fluctuates. Sometimes it's 290, sometimes 300, sometimes 280. He said, it's because I poop a lot. I try to poop 5 times a day.
Oh my god. Poop Johnson, you legend. You're a legend.
Oh, that's why we have headline of the week, folks. For legends
Christ.
like Poop Johnson.
I'm following him on Twitter.
Good
tonight.
luck to the Toronto Argos. All right, my next one. It's the off season, you know, and NFL players during the off season sometimes do things. Kirk Cousins was one of such players. He tweeted this a couple days ago. He says, "The season feels so far away, so I want to do a giveaway to keep all you Vikings fans excited. What do you want me to give away?" He posted a poll. He said, signed jersey, signed football, signed mini helmet, other. He got a lot of responses, like, your contract. Maybe not the ball.
Oh, I love
Some
it.
cap space.
Oh my god. I love the Kirk Cousins.
How about a
slander.
Super Bowl?
Jeez.
Some money from your contract so we can actually build a team.
Wow.
Now, there were a lot of legitimate responses too, but I just thought this was a great illustration of don't poke the bear, especially when you cost a team $100 million.
Shout out, Antoni. When you do listen to this, this is for you.
Kirk Cousins sucks.
Oh my god. All right, and my final one. This one's a real quick one. As we talked about earlier in the podcast, the Broncos traded to get Joe Flacco from the Ravens. After that trade was announced, their Super Bowl odds actually changed. They went from 100 to 1 to 125 to 1.
Oh.
Yeah. That's
The
not
Broncos?
generally the way trades are supposed to work, but
Nonetheless, here we are.
But that's how this one worked.
Okay.
So yeah, those are my headlines of the week.
That went as well as, you know, like everyone else saw the trade. So.
Sorry, Broncos fans, but Vegas is not in your favor.
Or anyone else.
So before we head out, I just want to say first, I know this is a little bit of a longer episode than last week. This is only our second episode. We're still getting our feet under us. We promise we'll be a little more consistent with the format moving forward. But thanks for bearing with us. Everyone who's listened from last week, thanks. Keep sharing, keep spreading the word. We're doing this because we love it, but if you love it, that makes it even better. So yeah, anything we want to mention before we head out?
We'll get into the the Grammys a little bit.
Oh boy, I didn't watch it, but I know you did.
I did watch
I
it.
didn't watch
I
it
did
either.
watch it because it's something that I enjoy watching.
Okay,
normally.
so was it good?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I enjoyed some of the awards given out. You know, I like to see what everybody wears. You know, the whole bougie aspect of it. But the awards that I like to see given out, like Rap Album of the Year, Song of the Year,
Okay.
did not go as planned.
Oh.
Song of the Year went to
Dylan's
Childish
mind.
Gambino for This Is America.
Huh. Sorry.
I don't know why it went to that song. That song, in my personal opinion, sucks.
Ooh.
No offense,
That's a
Childish
very
Gambino.
unpopular
The opinions of Dylan are the opinions of Dylan Lodano alone. Dylan Lodano lives at... No, I'm kidding.
For them to pick for the Song of the Year, a rap song, right? There have been so many other rap songs throughout history that could have been picked for Song of the Year. And they chose this one. I don't know if it was to make a
I
statement.
don't know if I would call it a rap song. Maybe
But
they
it is.
categorize it as rap, but I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, if they're categorizing it as rap, then it's rap because it won best.
You posted it in the notes here as quote unquote trash.
It is. It's trash. I listened to it for maybe a minute and I shut it off when it first came out.
Oh,
Haven't listened to it since.
Oh,
No offense, Childish Gambino.
Oh, you're not
I'm a fan of your
biased at
other
all.
music, not this song. This song sucks. Moving on. There was a performance to honor that of Motown. Because
Okay.
it was a celebratory, I think it was like an anniversary or something.
so what, they get like Diana Ross or something?
No, they got J-Lo.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know, famed Motown artist Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, you know,
Aaron's
the one
wife.
that's from the Bronx and probably has never set foot in Detroit other than on tour. Why was she celebrating or performing for Motown? I have no idea. She has no relevance to Motown. Please never do this again.
You
Please.
put-
You are a
Quote
very,
unquote,
very
she had
mean
no
man.
business performing for Motown.
Quote, she has no business performing for Motown. End quote. End of story.
Is that it?
One more.
Oh,
You are a bitter, bitter man.
I am a bitter man when
hey
it comes
man,
to this
it makes
shit.
a good podcast.
Winning Rap Album of the Year went to Cardi B.
I can't do her thing. I can't.
And I know-
I was gonna think. I'm like, no,
I know
I'm, not gonna do it.
I'm probably in the minority on this because everybody loves Cardi B. I am not a fan. Granted, her success story is cool,
Are
whatever.
you a fan of anyone?
I'm a fan of a lot of things, just not these people.
Baseball.
Purist. Okay. So I don't think it deserved Rap Album of the Year. I think there was other projects on there that were way better. More specifically, Mac Miller's album.
Thoughts and prayers.
Obviously, tragically lost him in September. That album transcends rap. It's rap and it's also music. Cardi B is strictly rap. I think Mac Miller's album could have been nominated for other categories like Album of the Year, and he could have had songs on said album nominated for Song of the Year. That's how good the album was. And, you know, people
Dylan
wrote...
posted quote unquote atrocity.
Exposed.
In the fact that Cardi B won Rap Album of the Year. Yes, that was an atrocity.
I mean, she's very popular, and I mean, if you again, when it comes to things like music, things are subjective.
Yes.
But you can't knock the fact that she's arguably the top name right now in rap.
Yeah, but it's just annoying. It's just so annoying. Cause
I get it.
Is her music relatable? That's what comes to mind to me.
I mean,
to
I
some-
like it like that.
To some people, yeah, it's relatable, but I don't
There you go.
think it hits home like Mac Miller's album did, and I don't think it deserves
I don't
to
know.
win.
Maybe it hits home.
I guess so.
Depends on where your home is.
For the voters, it hit home.
Home's where the heart is.
But shout out to Mac Miller's album. That album should have won.
And well, yeah. I mean, on the entertainment note, another thing I wanted to bring up was we got a Disney 1-2 punch
Love it.
during this last week. We got Aladdin, our first look at live action Aladdin, and our first look at that genie, though.
I'm excited.
Oh, wait, are you being sarcastic or
No,
serious?
like I want to see the movie.
Have you seen the genie?
I have seen the genie.
Yeah.
And?
It looks
It looks bad. It looks horrible.
I
It looks
don't mind the
horrible.
genie.
I don't mind it.
It looks
I know
horrible.
people that really are freaked out
It
by
looks
the
terrible,
genie.
man.
I
He
don't
looks
mind
like
it.
Hulk Hogan
Why
on
couldn't you?
terms.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why couldn't you at least just give him Will Smith's body? You had to give this big ass bulky body and then like derpy Will Smith face.
But the
Never ring a bell.
The genie's huge.
He is. No, I get it. I
You
get
have
it.
to
But it
make it
looks
bigger.
horrible.
That's their way of trying to do the in between.
Yeah,
like,
it's the
not
way of
make
trying to
him
do an in
full,
between
yeah.
of live action, but like so the Broadway show got a big dude in a blue outfit. I think it looks fine. So why don't you play something off of that?
Because it's not as realistic in the big outfit.
But this is the thing: if you're gonna do a live action interpretation, why does the genie have to be coming half out of the bottle like he does in the movie?
Because a genie is that. It's a genie. He doesn't have 2 feet to walk on. He kind
He
of floats.
can, yes, he can.
He can, but it's not.
It's not the genie.
Yeah.
Purist.
Ultimate power.
But some say, as a response to "Wash the bad taste of the genie out of our mouth," we got another Disney trailer. Frozen 2 came out yesterday, I think. Was it yesterday or
I don't
today?
think it came out.
No. The trailer
Yeah,
for
the
it, I think,
trailer.
came out yesterday.
I think it was yesterday.
Really dark and moody.
The first
I don't
one was
like
dark.
Frozen,
I never watched the
but
whole
I like the
movie.
dark. I saw the trailer.
Yeah, it's, like,
I
really
like
moody.
the darkness of it.
Like
I
there
like
was a
Kristen
comment
Bell,
on
that's about
YouTube
it.
that
I
I
was waiting
loved.
when it started. I'm like, oh, is this where they go to meet their brother Tarzan? But it didn't happen.
It never
But,
happened. Oh, we're all waiting for the crossover. No, there was a comment on YouTube that I loved where the producers were like, "All right, Disney, how dramatic do you want the trailer?" And Disney replied, "Yes."
Yes.
It's like they looked at the Avengers Endgame trailer and were like, "That's what we want for Frozen."
the least dramatic of them.
Because it completely fits the mold, you know.
It looks strange, but like I said, some people are saying the only reason why that trailer was cobbled together and put out was to try and shine away from some of the bad genie press. I don't believe that, but it's out there.
I personally like the genie.
I like the genie.
Wow. Okay, you learn something new every day, folks. Some people like the genie.
Aladdin is also my favorite Disney movie.
Ooh, that was
so.
a good clap. All right, and the final thing, this was breaking out today. Amazon has officially pulled out of its plans to build a HQ in NYC, specifically Long Island City.
I think it's crazy.
Crazy good, crazy bad.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Well, in general,
Jeez.
crazy. But I think it could have been great for Long Island City in one aspect, bringing in jobs. But on that same note, they weren't going to take people from Long Island City and, New York City for their jobs. They were already bringing people in to fill those jobs.
Some of them.
Yes.
Part of the deal was incumbent on there being jobs
openings.
for people there. Yeah.
Because that would have completely changed Long Island City.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know how much it impacted you guys, but like, in my job, everybody was talking about it when it was first announced. Like, they're like, "Oh my god, the traffic's going to be terrible. Train's going to be terrible. It's going to be a nightmare. It's going to throw the industry into flux. Things like that. It's going to raise housing prices."
It already did raise housing prices.
It did.
People were buying property without even seeing the land.
And now what?
Now you're fine.
Exactly. Now you are SOL. Prices are probably going to dip, if anything.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. So, yeah, I know people who will be disappointed and people who will be relieved by that news.
You can't make everybody happy. So.
Exactly. So Amazon will be moving its operations to, I think, Virginia. I think Tennessee is another one they brought up. But not New York City.
There's a lot more space over there.
There is. Alrighty. We're pushing along podcast here, so we'll head out. I'm Alejandro.
I'm Dylan.
Nick?
And you've been listening to Sportsaholics Unanimous.